Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all well. Let's get rid of the sponsor banner from a few weeks ago, from the other day. Welcome back and happy Sunday. A couple of people watching the racing and stuff going on as well. But we are in Indonesia today for the Bay of Bengal Hopper event on the VATSIM network via both the Indonesian and the Indian VACCs. So the Bay of Bengal Hopper event is going to take us over the Bay of Bengal, of course, between here, Whiskey India Mike Airport, still yet to be able to pronounce it properly, and Kota and Chennai in India. About 3 hours 45 minutes or so in total, but here we are in our brand new Osprey Airways Fenix A320 livery painted by TAPSI. Doctor on board, hello to you, welcome Gav. The Night Shepherd, hola. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it, in this particular livery on this aircraft. And I've also assisted TAPSI in painting the interior cabin area too, which is pretty cool. There we are. Into the flight deck. Wow, good afternoon. Dive straight in here. We want to get rid of the jetway. See if that actually gets rid of it. Yes, thank goodness. Who knows? I've not tested this scenery. I hope it doesn't trigger a crash to desktop. Okay, so we've got most of our route plans. What we need to do is tune into our ground frequencies, and we've got an ATIS online as well. So 1303 for the first frequency. First time using this aircraft on a VATSIM event. Yoep, hello to you. And everybody else in the live chat, welcome. 1303. Got end-to-end ATC. 1186 after that. Okay, and we need to sort out our takeoff performance here. So sync the final load sheets. Optimum config. Packs on for the aircon. Calculate that.
Cleared to Chennai. Usually
it'll be the whole runway by hotel.
400 and with 05 Pakaman Alpha.
155. Wowzers, we are heavy today. 155, 155.
Clear to Chennai, Pakaman Alpha out of runway 05 climb to.
Thankfully, the runway is 3,750 meters long today.
Ready for pushback, speedway 20.
So it gives us plenty of space. Flaps 2 it's suggesting here.
Push and shut up, road facing west, speedway 20.
Okay, well we'll go with that. Flaps 2.
Copy, 2531, speedway 20.
What happens if I put flaps 1 in?
Ground, selamat malam, Jet Airways 585 at 1029er, requesting IFR clearance.
Only one knot difference.
Info Alpha.
Peter 585, standby clearance number 3.
It was 156, wasn't it? Nice to see that message pop up there, the disagree, and oh my god, B2 156 as well. Really?
Papa Kilo Juliet.
Wow, okay.
Papa Kilo Juliet go.
Papa Kilo Juliet cleared to Chennai.
Awesome, and flex 57.
240, expect 360, Pakaman Alpha, runway 05, clock.
Ian's just had a crash to desktop, that's not good. Hopefully we don't get one today, touch wood, although the jetties have triggered rather spontaneously at the end of boarding actually, weirdly enough. They then connected, so who knows what's going to happen. Alright, that is looking good.
2574 confirm.
Affirmative,
It's our airport elevation.
25744 Papa Kilo Juliet, then no pushback required, requesting taxi.
Papa Kilo Juliet, traffic behind you, standby.
Here we go. Let's get our ATIS and get our clearance while we're here. Information Alpha.
Delhi Grand, Osprey 722, Boeing 737, stand 12 with information Alpha, request
Kualanamau Ground.
Please.
Station takeoff signing in.
Osprey 722.
14.
722, standby, clearance number 4.
Roger that, standing by.
Kualanamau Ground, good evening. Osprey 165, stand 14. Airbus A320 with Alpha, request IFR to Chennai.
Osprey 165, clearance number 5, standby.
Okay.
Alpha.
Number 5 for clearance. So in that time, we're in the queue now. We can just go through a couple of bits that we can expect throughout today. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Please do hit subscribe. There's our position on the ground using Navigraph. Hopefully you can see the charts. Stand 14, we're going to push start to the Apron Whiskey, heading north most likely, or northwest. And then we'll taxi via Uniform, Uniform, onto Alpha, all the way down to Hotel, runway 05. And then runway 05 RNAV departures is going to be via NOCAR, which is left turn at 600 feet to Sega.
Level 240, runway 05, Papa 1 Alpha, squawk 2535.
Ambil R6, and then we're going to go 292 degrees through Derby, Gillette, and then north to Packham onto the Lima 762 airway, which is up here, with all this terrain below us as well. Then we'll be Oceanic. We'll be over sort of ETOPS territory, flying over the water via Ansacs, heading all the way across into Chennai's FIR, across the Bay of Bengal to Chennai. We've got Freeware scenery both ends here for today. Night flights, let's get the night maps on.
Push approved, facing west, squawk 2535.
We've got lots of data about taxi routes and things like that as well for us to sort of refer to should we need it. Hey, Bray, hello.
Taxi heading for runway 05 by Uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel.
Holding point runway 05, Uniform Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel. Red Cap 493.
And a QNH 1009.
Alright, I'll add the 23.3 doc. I was just literally taking the data from the performance calculator on the Fenix EFB, that is all.
Silver 20, taxi heading for runway 05 via Uniform, Sierra, Bravo,
There.
Alpha 4, Hotel. Question Alpha 4.
It supposedly has the data for the airport as well. We do here, we change some of these settings, maybe there's a, let's explore this a bit. Night mode.
Papa Kilo Juliet, taxi heading for runway 05 via Uniform,
Brilliant.
Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4.
Where's the night mode then?
Hotel, QNH 1009.
1009 for runway 05 via Uniform,
There's no difference.
Bravo, Alpha 4,
Hey ho.
Alpha Hotel, Papa Kilo Golf Kilo Juliet.
Silver 20, wait for the
Pretty full today.
650 on your 2 o'clock.
Lots of fuel, 11.5 tons scheduled, and how are we at the moment for departure? Minus 28 minutes to go.
Silver 20, they're on stand 10, backtracking. It's the Challenger 650.
1008. It's QNH 1009 now. So, on the charts we were looking at a second ago, the RNAV departures. Packham had no guidance, but Dubia we wanted to be at or above flight level 240. The initial climb though, it just says climb on a heading of 045 at or above 600.
Jet Airways 585, clearance available.
As long as we're at and below 5,000 at Sega, so I'll set 5 for now.
Jet Airways 585, cleared to Chennai, flight level 340, initially flight level 240, Packham 1 Alpha, runway 05, squawk 2507.
Okay, there you go, he's cleared him to 240.
Clear to Chennai via Pakam 1 Alpha.
So we could reasonably expect that as well from us.
Initial at level
Let's get this on.
Squawk 2507, Jet Airways 585.
Jet Airways 585, Emission Alpha, call, respect correct, call Vanity.
We'll go Jet Airways 585.
Lovely job. The Concorde that spawned on top of me and then it move's gone already, I think. The apron's looking pretty full already. And bear in mind it's freeware. Quite nice to see they've added a bit of
722, clearance available.
cool sort of tower texture there.
Osprey 72, cleared to Chennai.
The aircraft there hasn't matched because it's got an incorrect call sign basically. It's something random.
05, squawk 256.
Not quite sure what it's supposed to be, but it's 4 letters, so... Ian, that is not good. You got any idea what could be triggering it?
Squawking 2506, Osprey 722.
Osprey 722, confirm, squawk 2566.
Squawking 2566, Osprey 722.
Osprey 722, respect correct, call Vanity, information Alpha.
Oh, was asking, wondering whether the next Fenix update might be coming out. Not sure. Hopefully soon. Got VORs we could tune. I should have auto-tuned some of them actually. No des.
Osprey 165, cleared ready.
Go ahead.
Osprey 165, cleared to Chennai, Viable 360, initially 240. Takaman Alpha, runway 05, squawk 2520.
50. Cleared Chennai, Packer 1 Alpha departure, cleared flight level 360, initial flight level 240, squawk 2520, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, wait back correct, information Alpha, call when ready for push and start.
Okay, Osprey 165.
Aircraft 62 ready for taxi.
520?
Aircraft 62 taxi for Rimba runway 05 via uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel, UNH1009.
That's good. That's all set. That's all good.
Uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha,
Okay.
Hotel, 1009.
24 minutes early, but we have wound the time back, so that's probably why that's the case. I'm not sure what local time it's supposed to be. What is it? 1851, 11:51 Z. That'll do. 9 minutes to go.
Jet Airways 585, requesting push and start.
Jet Airways 585, push and start out cruise, facing west.
Make sure that you got APU on.
Push and start out
Lead.
facing west. Jet Airways 585.
Come off the external power. Move this as well. We've already seen that our parking brake is off. So let's connect the tug. Osprey 165, request push and start.
Osprey 165, stand by traffic from left right, A320 red cap, has passed push and start out cruise, facing west.
Here we're visual with the red cap traffic passing behind left to right when clear, push start approved, face west, Osprey 165. There. My ops. So that's all good. That's all good. Get the beacon on. Seatbelt signs on, no smoking signs on auto, that's all set as required.
Monitor Namu Tower on 118.6, bye-bye.
Okie doke.
Monitor Tower 118.6, red cap 49.
I'll break it off.
Thank you.
Good evening, ground Air India 172 requesting...
Anything now is trying to work out when to actually commence the turn on the taxiway.
Station takeoff and over.
Air India 172.
Air India 172, Roger, clear number 1, standby.
Mark, probably most likely, yeah. I mean, I've changed my NVIDIA game driver from the game driver to the studio driver based on feedback from some of our channel members that have done a similar thing. Mission mode start, power to the FADEX, engine 2 start.
172, clearance verbal.
India 170, go ahead.
Air India 172, clear to Chennai.
Watch this pushback here.
360,
Looks like we're going
240, Pakam 1 Alpha.
a bit tighter than we want, so that's definitely something that's changed. God, this is one of the most frustrating things about this particular Fenix A320. It's the pushback system. It is awful. It's like going back in time, isn't it?
India 170, respect car mission Alpha, call when ready.
Call when ready, India
118.6, bye-bye.
But the pushback is a bit smoother with connection. Doesn't lose the tug anymore, which is quite nice.
118.6 speed by 20, bye-bye.
Papa Kilo Juliet, monitor Manamu Tower, 118.6, bye-bye.
Monitor 1186, Papa Kilo Juliet, thank you.
Okay, what have we got here? We can't see very much, can we? VATSIM, welcome. First time doing a night flight in a very long time. Quick check of the flight controls. And this is helping to recalibrate our rudders and things inside the sim as well before we actually need to use them. Cool, and we'll go flaps 1, auto arm.
India 121, this is ready to copy air clearance to Chennai, with information Alpha.
India 121, standby clearance number 2.
Okay, Osprey 165, request taxi.
Osprey 165, taxi holding runway 05 via uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel, unit 1009.
Taxi hold point 05 via uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel, QNH 1009, Osprey 165. Jesus.
Station requesting clearance to Chennai was there.
That was a little more complex than I expected. Here we go.
Jet Airways 585, request taxi.
Jet Airways 585, taxi.
Got our cabin views.
Runway 05 via uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel, unit 1009.
Taxi to hold point runway 05 via uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel, QNH 1009.
Quite exciting flying this for the first time. In night as well, during an event.
The ground, Osprey 722, stand 12, ready for start.
There he is.
Osprey 722,
The Osprey 737.
after traffic, A320, trespass from left to right, pushing tower, cruise, facing back.
After traffic.
We've got FSRealistic fired up today as well, and I've actually turned down a lot of the effects just to see what happens in the sort of, what's
Good
it
evening,
called?
ground. Requesting IFI clearance. Chennai has filed. Air India 212.
Speaking of it, oh there we go, it's locked my
Air India 212, say again.
Requesting IFI clearance.
I don't think how to dim the cabin.
Air India 212.
Air India 212, standby clearance number 2, quick break, India 121,
cabin,
clearance ready.
cabin lights.
Ready to copy, Air India 121.
Let's see what this looks like then.
Air India
Turn left on
112
Sierra.
to Chennai by Pakam 1 Alpha, departure runway 05. initially for level 240, squawk 2532.
Here to Chennai, we are back 1 Alpha departure, runway 05, initial climb is 240, squawk 2532, get on.
Hold view.
Correct information Alpha.
Hopefully they change that at some point soon. Flight time today, Mark, should be about 3.5 hours roughly. It's a long one. The event is actually running until 1700 Zulu, which is quite cool.
India 172 pushing start approve, facing west.
Pushing start approved, facing west, India 172.
Only thing is,
212 clearance.
I have turned night mode on, and it hasn't actually changed anything.
Air India 212 cleared to Chennai for level 380, initially 240, Pakam 1 Alpha, runway 05.
Let's try that. That's a bit better, isn't it? A bit more night modey. Mikhail, hello to you, welcome. Let's have a look inside the cabin again now the lights are off. There we go. How's that? Oh, that's cool. Flight deck door open.
Air India 212 is the correct information Alpha, call when ready.
Take off config.
Air India 212 pushing correct start approve, facing east, squawk 2576.
Start approved, facing east.
Indeed.
2576 Air India.
Quite a long time, Doc, as well, isn't it?
Recap 62 approaching hotel.
Recap 62, monitor Namu Tower 1 meter 76, bye-bye.
Monitor Tower 186,
Alpha 5, let's just dim some of these lights. Assist with our taxi. There's the Freeware terminal. Ultimate, just type in the command specs in the chat, buddy, and it will get you fired up with the information. Q, no, we'll have to turn them on ourselves inside the EFB. It's not auto like on the PMDG 737. I don't think. At least I've just actually dimmed them here myself anyway. Doc, yeah, I did think at night time we'd be missing a lot of this nice scenery, but thought I might as well just stick to sort of live time as possible, much as possible at least, for a bit of a change. I usually, as you guys know, I usually wind the time back so that we can actually see the world that we're flying around. Games channel, it's Microsoft Flight Simulator.
QNH1009 are advised on initial contact. You have information.
The heck?
This is Kualanamau International Airport information Alpha.
Wow, that's the first time this has happened on
runway in U5.
On the Fenix. It's just changed my frequency. 1303 or 186. What the? Very weird. Don't know what it was doing there. Anyway, we're back. David, enjoy your real flight. Mark, hello to you, welcome. I have enough trouble flying in daylight. As do I, it seems, from the other day. Why did that change frequency? I wasn't even pressing any keybinds at the time. Very odd. Hey ho, it does it in the the Freeware as well, oddly enough. Don't forget to hit the like button throughout today's live stream as well if you are enjoying it. Not convinced I like FSRealistic being switched on, if I'm totally honest.
Delhi ground, Osprey 722, ready for taxi.
Osprey 722, taxi holding for runway 05 by uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel, unit 1009.
As Night Shepherd saying there, I think for an event it is nice to do in real time.
Uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Bravo for...
Go out, even the cabin lights and exterior are switched off.
1009, Osprey 722.
Osprey 722, negative, uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel, unit 1009.
It is a long taxi.
Uniform, Sierra, Bravo, Alpha 4, Alpha, Hotel.
There's some of the custom scenery.
1009, 722.
Osprey 165, monitor number tower 118.6 bye.
Monitor tower 118.6, Osprey 165. Enjoy the event. Thanks ATC.
For fun, bye bye. Get it.
1186, that's tower, and it's a monitor tower, so we don't call them up. We can tune 1212 ready. 212, which is after departure. So always try and stay one step ahead of the aircraft, and also of the requirements for ATC. So when you change,
Osprey 165, Kualanamau Tower, line up and wait, runway 05.
line up and wait, runway 05, Osprey 165. Good evening.
Good evening.
Redcap 62 airborne.
Redcap 62, contact radar 121.2, good day.
1212, good night, Redcap 62.
Put them out of the belly. I'm actually going to put the taxi nose light on now as well, just to cheat almost. That's the old view lock coming up. Strobes, light signs, ECAM memos, no blue. Here we go. Bar brake set. Make sure that is switched on.
Osprey 165, surface wind 030 degrees 3 knot, NH 1009, runway 05, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 05, clear takeoff, Osprey 165.
Jet Airways 585, behind departing traffic, line up and wait, runway 05.
Line up and wait, runway 05.
Brakes off.
Jet Airways 585.
2 clicks flex. SRS and runway. Speed's now alive. See takeoff inhibit mode selected as well. V1 of 156. Rotate and V2 at the same speeds. 100 knots. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Let's cross the Bay of Bengal. V1. Rotate. V2. Positive rate. Gear up. Autopilot 1 on. Passing 500s. And we're rolling left for the outbound turn. Not that we can see a chuffing thing. Leave a climb. 1 click back, there's the dings from the cabin.
165, contact radar 121.2, good day.
Contact radar 121.2, Osprey 165. Have a good day. Enjoy the event.
You too.
Medan radar, good evening, Osprey 165. Climbing 2,000 feet, Aka 1 Alpha departure.
Osprey 165 is done radar identified. Climb unrestricted, flight level 240.
Climb unrestricted, flight level on 240, Osprey 165. Bring the flaps in, disarm the ground spoilers, and where are we going now? Inbound Sega. Next frequency.
4903, recast higher.
1323.
Jeff 493, contact Jakarta radar on 132.3.
132.3, recap 4993, good day.
That's our next frequency ready.
Papa Kilo Juliet approaching level 2, forward 0.
There's TCAS 110 ahead.
Jakarta Patrol 132.3. Jakarta 1323, Papa Kilo Juliet.
Want cabin lighting, don't we? Which is in here. Cabin lights back on. Look at that. Can't see very much through here. Yeah, that's already on. Yeah, it's a climb unrestricted, so. We'll continue through the constraint in open climb. Transition levels 11,000 feet. Wow, cheers, buddy.
Redcap 62, proceed direct back down.
Proceed direct to backdown, Redcap 62.
Flight 973, GD descent 3000, third wireless approach, runway 05, 47. Continue descent 3000, cleared ILS runway 05, report established,
refreshed.
flying 973.
Steve's asking about thoughts on FSRealistic. For the airliners, I'm not convinced it's needed, to be totally honest. I appreciate they've sent me a review copy for free and asked me to sort of share my thoughts with you guys, and as always, my thoughts are unbiased, unrestricted. I'm not convinced. The other day we were using it for the 146 and I found the touchdown head shake really, really quite rough. Unrealistically so, yeah. Not convinced. I've turned it all down from today.
Unrestricted level 240.
310. Put a bit of backlighting on as well. Away we go. Let's turn the wing lights off, shall we? Don't need those on. That's that one there. So much for having a look at our new Osprey Airways livery today. Teresa, hello to you. Absolutely. Nice to see the cabin lights actually work outside as well when they're switched on and off. It's reflected for real, because cabin lights are on at the moment, as you can see. And if we poke the door open, you can see the cabin lights here with our interior. So we've got custom lighting in the overhead panels, which make it a bit more brighter, a bit more of a natural white sort of colour. We've got the Osprey logo on the seat backs, and then Tapsi's helped sort the mirroring issue out, but I've hand painted the bulkheads, which I think are quite cool. Get that seatbelt sign off as well, shall we? Question is, can we do it from here? Why not? Let's try. That one? Yeah, buddy! How cool is that? And then we got our Osprey Airways galley equipment too. Shut door. Through transition. Low. So a little while ago we did a bit of a poll on the channel to sort of work out what we would want to see as a sort of community virtual airline, if you like. And there were quite a lot of options. We ended up going with Osprey and Bravo Victor X-Ray as the 3-letter ICAO code. And the IATA code I think was selected was 8 Alpha, which is similar to BA, so we thought we would, the way it looks at least, but we'd do that.
Osprey 165, fly direct, back.
Fly direct to Packham, Osprey 165. Nice little shortcut. Got a bit of that sort of dash cam view. Looking pretty cool. Mark, there are quite a few on YouTube, but I've tried to follow quite a few of them. I'm not the most technically minded, so I'm not that great. Danny's saying, how bad do you want to turn the daylight on now? Yeah, absolutely. It does tempt me. Christopher prefers a bit of warm lighting, some old school halogen strip lighting for you.
Galley approach, Osprey 722, 3000 feet.
That's pretty cool, look at that.
Very 7. The down radar identified, climb unrestricted, flight level 240.
Take a little screenshot of that.
Climb unrestricted, flight level 240, Osprey 722.
How does it look if we go further back? Take both of them there. Quite cool with that sort of fiery sunset in the background as well, that twilight, that final little bit of twilight as the sun dropping below 6 degrees below the horizon.
Cap 62, contact Jakarta on 132.3.
Contact Jakarta 132.3, thank you for service. Good night, and Rakat 60.
Railway 585.
That'll be us next, Jakarta Control. 323. Can't think we'll be taking many screenshots today because it is almost pitch black, or will be pitch black shortly. Harry Ball, welcome, hello to you. Great for you to join us. Leonardo, hello, welcome, saying I'm used to flying the Fly-by-wire, but in the Fenix it doesn't let me change the star and maintain the approach procedure. You have to change approach in order to change the star. Is it like that in real life? Well, I'm not sure because I've never done it in real life, to be totally honest, but not sure which one would be the most accurate. Be interesting to know though. Obviously, as you say, on the fly-by-wire on the approach, you can just select it and then you can choose a new one. But perhaps in the older CEO version, you had that little extra step, something that they've potentially tweaked and resolved for the upgraded Neo. Packer in 80 nautical miles, just less than. Yeah, same with me, Paul. The pushback on the Fenix is pretty weak, isn't it? It's poor, to be totally honest.
165, contact control 132.3.
Contact Jakarta 132.3 for Osprey 165. Enjoy the event. Have a good night.
Monitoring command to decimal 8, radar service terminated, bye-bye.
Our final controller of the first section of today. Jakarta Control, good evening, Osprey 165, flight level 240 inbound direct Packham.
Osprey 165, good afternoon, hello, Jakarta Control, flight level 360.
Continue climb flight level 360, Osprey 165.
Singapore 44, Jakarta.
Anthony uses Pushback Express, it works pretty well. A good evening to you as well. So I've got it installed, but I can't get it to work, which again is frustrating me because we can't use toolbar pushback, otherwise you get a pop-up appear on the Fenix program saying, alert, this doesn't work, incompatible mod detected, which is pretty rubbish.
Control, can you please confirm last transmission for Speedway 20?
Speedway 20 negative.
Who knows?
Oh, that's Speedway 20.
What the income is,
I mean, weirdly enough, night mode doesn't work for me. Oops. Fat fingers. Oh, chart mode default. That's why. Ah, I should have read it properly. Ignore me. There's me going night mode doesn't work, it's just for the charts. We've already burnt 1,000 kilos of fuel. 1,380 kilos of fuel, in fact, we've already burned. We're getting through it in the climb. John, good evening. Grant, hello to you. You're going to be joining us from Mumbai later. Fantastic. Flying in roughly the same time, or are you flying in later in the event? So Danny's saying that what Leonardo was asking earlier is actually a bug with the Fenix, which is interesting because it's based on ProSim. It's supposed to be very realistic. If that's the case, it's something that really they should probably try and work on ASAP.
November 20230, Jakarta Control, go ahead.
Marcin, it probably does, yeah, it probably does. Just based on the fact that it's running all of this extra stuff, but it is in incredibly EFB. Such a good EFB. You can get rid of it. You can just press the little red button there on the microphone. It hides the EFB for you, so you get a bit more of an unrestricted view.
Now, stand by. Okay then.
37 above and climbing. See him? Not yet. Chasing the twilight is what we're doing. Yeah, Leonardo, very strange, very strange.
Airway 585, Jakarta Control, selamat malam, climb flight level 340.
Anthony saying this plane has made it that hard for me to fly. What do you mean? Yeah, as Christopher's saying, you can use the EFB on an external device as well, so you can connect an external device, a tablet, something like that, and you can just run it off that, which is really smart. Very, very smart indeed, actually. Best of both worlds then, because you can basically just run it on your phone effectively. John, good afternoon. Going well so far, touchwood, thank you. Oh, you're still going through all of your reset up again. How frustrating. Did you work out what triggered the brake? Or are we still unsure? Cobus, please explain the virtual airline thing. So effectively, you can join Osprey Airways, or you can join some of the proper virtual airlines like Fly UK. This is more of a community virtual airline for sort of just have a bit of fun with. But you log your flights, and we've got a bit of a ranking system set up. So for those of you like you fly a lot in the Osprey liveries and complete lots of journeys in it, you eventually go up the ranking system. We've got achievements as well. This is one of them, in fact. Bay of Bengal Hopper from Whiskey India Mike Mike to Chennai. Predominantly it's just all a bit of fun, especially for Osprey. Chasing that sunset as quickly as we can. There is a Concorde from still on the airport actually, I think, unless they departed prior to the event. I'm not sure. I'll have to try and find them now. Oh no, they'd already departed. So that was Speedbird 20. They've already been handed off to Unicom. Their Concorde. And it won't be long until we're on to Unicom ourselves, actually, I don't think. Neil, hello. Yep, you've missed us pressing the make plane fly button in the Airbus. This plane has made it that hard for me to fly anything else, Anthony says. Wow. Have you tried the PMTG 737? Because I mean, this is an Airbus. It is very simple by comparison, but I feel like I get a lot more back from the PMDG 737. There's certainly a lot more required from a pilot to fly a 737. At least that's how it seems anyway. And it can catch you out and try and kill you sometimes too. Oh, John, yeah, that's something's gone horribly wrong with your Windows store then, Microsoft store. Wow. Or we are almost oceanic. So Packham's the last sort of land-based waypoint, and then we're over the water at MSFS, crossing the Bay of Bengal all the way to Chennai. And we've got some nice freeware scenery for that as well. Anthony says the 737 scares him. That is great fun. It is, to begin with, it's a little bit daunting and you think, good grief, this is quite a lot to learn, but as you start to pick it up, you learn little chunks of the aeroplane at a time. It's quite a good feeling, quite a nice feeling. Certainly very rewarding anyway, when you start to master the 737 and you start to tame it, it's a very rewarding feeling. This is great for easy, non-complicated autopilot based sort of flying. Can't go wrong with either. But yeah, as Neil's saying, the PMDG has press all these buttons to fly book, as opposed to press button make plane fly on the Airbus. Two very different dynamics, isn't it? Paul's waiting for the 738. It's going to be great, isn't it? For around about the 1st of August, isn't it? It's due. 737-600 looks like it's great fun as well from those previews from PMDG the other day. No wing fences either, winglets or anything like that, just the old school straight inefficient wing design. Christopher, what antics? Don't know what you mean. Unless were you referring to what Joab was saying in the live chat the other week, in Discord the other day in the members lounge, about apparently deleting or requesting removal of some extra mods or something? I've not heard anything myself, to be honest. I learnt about it from Joab. The only thing I can think of perhaps is the fact that maybe they're breaching, whoever's creating those mods are breaching copyrights left, right and centre, and they've requested them to come down naturally. Just trying to protect their own work, I guess. freeware's freeware, but if it crosses the line of breaching copyrights and stuff like that, or maybe perhaps even creating license issues with Boeing, I don't know, just guessing, then yeah, maybe it shouldn't be a thing. I'd imagine the PMDG EFB is going to be quite nice. It's certainly going to be a total redesign, isn't it? How it compares to the Fenix EFB though, who knows, who knows. Anthony, no idea.
Anyone block mic?
No idea, yeah.
Station calling, please take it one by one, starting from the record 6.
No idea about the Aerosoft A330, that'd be quite nice. A lot of people are still patiently holding off.
20, you're listening to space number 0 JC available military command 22 bye.
For the 800.
Qatari 46 Mike, did you call me? Qatari 46 Mike, 6277.
I'd imagine they're not doing it just from a hatred point of view. There's got to be a reason behind it, but I'm not sure. Wouldn't like to speculate, I guess.
722, Jakarta Control.
Control, Osprey 722, flight level 240.
John, no, we're not in the Osprey One World. We're in the standard. We've not flown this one yet either. For those of you in the States, the One World Alliance logo jet for the Osprey Airways A320 Fenix has got an NREG. I've had quite a few requests from people asking effectively that, asking for an N-registered aircraft, so we thought we'd give it a go. Trying to accommodate everybody. Yeah, keep smashing that like button, folks, as Neil's saying. Only 56 likes so far, 57. Keep them coming. Certainly nice to take part in a VATSIM event again. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Greece, I haven't tried the A320X for quite some time actually. I think since the MDG 737 got released. Only premium alliances show up, sadly. If Osprey was to join any alliance, it would of course be One World.
India 2120 Jakarta Control, good evening, climb flight level 380.
Climb flight level 380, Air India 212.
I don't think they're charging all that much, Christopher, at the moment. Certainly by comparison to the Fenix A320, it's pretty much, for the namesake's purposes, it's pretty much the same price, isn't it? The beauty of the PMDG 73 is you don't have to run an external program that you rely on to make sure the aeroplane stays flying. If that crashes for any reason, this whole aircraft will just shut off and fall out of the sky. Elliot, very good, thanks for asking, I hope you're okay.
Flight level 360, Air India 172.
Any possibility of direct unsacks, Air India 212?
Air India 212, stand by, direct unsacks 2236.
Stand by, Air India 212.
See, Fenix had to price it around 50 quid because it's kind of, it's a brand new developer, don't forget, but also they had the Flyboire A320X to compete with, and that's quite a big ask in a way because that's £0, so they couldn't go crazy, they couldn't charge PMDG levels, and they had to try and balance it across I guess both settings, both price points, to try and find a happy medium that also creates a nice profit for themselves, because they are a business at the end of the day. Hello, please, could you please show your FSRealistic settings?
November Charlie 4, holding
there you go. So I've just left them all on automatic really, but airframe wind is off, I think. Oh no, it's on. Auto speed brake. Deploys a realistic sound, whatever that is. Brake, see that's definitely one of the sounds that you notice a lot of. It's very similar to the one I remember from FSRealistic Core though. It's obviously the cheaper package. Breathing is an odd one. Every now and again there's this weird cough, and I don't know if it's from the breathing or the cabin ambience, but I've only got the cabin ambience down from 40 or whatever it was, just to 5, because I found it quite frustrating to use. Maybe we should turn it back up. Cockpit ambience. Random sounds with someone sitting in the cockpit. Why would you need that? And crash screaming. Fantastic. Hopefully we never trigger that one. It's at 60. That's pretty loud. I might turn it to 40. The engine vibrations is something that was quite a strange one as well. I want to turn this down a bit because, as we noticed on the ground as we departed today, the movement was pretty insane. So a lot of it's very overdone. Dare I say, ironically unrealistic still in my opinion. And you end up turning a lot of these down. So, and is it worth paying all that money for? I'm not sure. Not sure. Not convinced, if I'm being honest with you guys. Simming is expensive isn't enough. I think if you like to fly general aviation aircraft, map stress. I think if you're flying general aviation a lot, I think then in that sense, it would probably be quite good. But a lot of these set to 30, 40, 50 are just crazy high. Ground effect, ground roll, they were quite nice, and I've left them at defaults. And for the first time today, we're going to hear random good, bad, or sort of clapping. Might turn that down as well, because that's all a bit high. Over G, don't really care about that. Over speed. Movement for reverse thrust, that was potentially going to be quite exaggerated. Let's turn that down to 25.
Requesting 2 minutes break from the deck, and 212.
And if we leave the sound on, then we're actually going to remove the reversing sounds from the Fenix A320. So why would you want that? It's a payware add-on. Just disable it. Sneezing. Why would you want that on? Let's get rid of that. That's awful. Not anything I want enabled. Airframe vibrations and drag noises coming from extended speed brakes. Let's move this over here. Stick shaker, we don't need that. The PMDG 737 has got one as part of the sound pack. Again, it's stuff you don't need. Toilet, what? Alright, well, let's put it onto 40, because apparently everybody on flight sim likes to have a toilet flush. I've turned these right down. Touchdown noises, movements more so than anything else for touchdown front and main. So, main undercarriage touchdown was up here somewhere, 40 I think. And as we saw from the BA 146 when we touched down the other week, a couple of days back, it was a ridiculously significant bump. So I've actually turned that down to 7 now for stages to see what happens. Cool, there you go. That is my FSRealistic settings.
Param 878 Uju, the question is Param 878 Jakarta.
Anthony was saying, is this program worth it, or should we just leave it for now? I'm not convinced. I'm not sure how much it is. Let me have a little look. FSRealistic. to buy.
Back on deck here, 212.
Wowzers. So it's €33.60. So it's about 28 quid. It's a lot of money for things that you're just going to turn off or turn down. Not that. I think if you're into general aviation flights, it's quite nice. You get a lot of other stuff, but I think now you're looking at potentially. So for the airliners, I think it's pointless.
Jakarta Control, good evening. Super Green 264 at flight level 240.
Super Green 264, Jakarta Control, good evening. Hello, flight level 360.
Elliot flew from Venice, or flew to Venice in the PMDG 737, very nice. John's off for a weekend away again in the caravan. Well, Christopher, the only difference, you're saying the only difference of the PMDG aircraft between the models is the 3D model. They're making each aircraft fly like each aircraft is supposed to fly. So the 800 has got different tech on it to the 700. It's slightly more advanced. 600 slightly less so. They're tweaking them, and I guess their argument is they know people aren't going to buy all of them. They know that people aren't going to have a hangar of the 600, the 700, 800, 900 and then the Maxes. They'll just pick one that they really want. So there's a lot of people, as we've already seen today, waiting for the 800 variant from PMDG. That's awesome. So that's likely the only one that you're going to want to buy. That's not bad at all. Especially when you get the level of quality from them, as good as it is. Fergie, does the FSRealistic have a profile for the Mad Dog? Absolutely no idea, but you can configure things and create your own profiles with it as well. Co-pilot file on or off mark, yeah, pretty much. Leonardo saying 40 is quite high. I'm just catching up on the chat here. It's going to be landing applause, isn't it? Let's turn it down to 25. Instead. Yeah, Anthony, I've had core as well. Used it a couple of times, more so for the general aviation aircraft. Again, there's a bit of a theme here in the airliners. I think for payaway aeroplanes, where you've got aircraft like the Fenix A320 or the PMDG 737 or even the Just Flight 146 that have got a lot of detail added into them, a lot of sound work and sound engineering done already to quite a high standard. You don't need to add onto it or replace it with things like this. But Bum Bum's saying use it with the PMDG 737 and the landing effect alone is worth it for me. Oh, the toilet flush. Let's turn it down to 25 then. Ian's away, good stuff.
You're welcome.
We're about to be handed off to Unicom as well then, I think. A couple of screenshots on Volanta already. By the way, if you do want to have a little look at the screen on Volanta, that's our bit of work today. Our routing is going to take us over the Bay of Bengal. See here, we've headed out of Whiskey Mike with a left turn over the coast to Segar and then climbing up and away out through different layers of ATC through Indonesian airspace. And now we're already at Ansak's. We are leaving Jakarta radar. We're now in Chennai radar's control, but they're not online yet, interestingly enough. Perhaps we've got another hour to go, so we're going to be on Unicom for a very short while, I think. Before then, the rest of this gets lit up for the remainder of the event today. John, welcome. Hope you go okay. Ian's loving FSRealistic, whole new level with vibrations in the cockpit, even in turbulence. And that's it, it's subjective, isn't it? It's like scenery as well. Some of you might think it's really good and it's just what you've been wanting in the sim. Others won't be as interested or as positive, I guess. So yeah, there's flip sides to it all, really.
This is Air India 121, making flight level 240.
Air India 121, Jakarta Control, good evening, climb for 400, proceed direct to Patram.
Climb to flight level 40, direct to Patram.
Affirm.
Leonardo, gotcha. Thank you very much. Christopher saying, sorry, but that's just propaganda. They went with this model because people bought at the $100+ for the package. They started selling you for the plain 6 deposits. Yes, so if you're buying more than one, it's more expensive. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's not necessarily propaganda. Whilst it is creative marketing, and no doubt one of the reasons behind it is they're banking on the fact that people might buy maybe 2 or 3. But, wow, he's loud. How many of the community are going to have more than one 737? Or perhaps 2. You might get the 700 and then the 800, and then you might wait for the 777 to be released, or the 747. Jesus, they are so loud. .323 still. 1323, yeah. So we haven't had an issue with it changing frequency since that little random element that happened a little earlier on.
Jakarta Control, Air 501. Good morning.
You are readability 4, quite loud. There you go, so Paul's only getting the 800 and nothing else. So for you Paul, it's cheaper because you're not having to buy the whole package for £100+. I wish on V-Pilot you could get an aircraft, you could find the aircraft and you could just turn down that one pilot's audio. That'd be quite a modern feature to have on VATSIM. Gary, there's been one recently, was it last week? There was a little update, just fixing a couple of things, improving a few things, but there's some bigger updates coming over the next few weeks. Well, I think what I meant, Mark, was they probably calculated with their marketing department how much they would sell of each copy based on different pricing structures, and they probably worked out roughly it's the same. They're going to make the same amount of money overall. But like you're saying there, if you want to buy more than one, it would probably be quite nice if they offered a bit of a discount. Attacks, is it busy? It certainly is, yeah. Looking behind us at the moment, we got out at the very beginning of the event, and we've got 2 in front of us. 3 in front of us, sorry. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 11 behind us at the moment, and then 1 that's still on the ground. So traffic is building. Yeah, the 800 is going to be fantastic when it comes. I think they know that not many people are going to bother with the 600. A lot of people who got the 700 have got it because they wanted one straight away. So they've got PMDG 737 in the hangar, and it is exceptionally good at what it is. I love it. It's still my favourite by quite a stretch in the sim. The 600, not sure if I'd use it as much. Maybe the occasional short-field hops when I need a sportier 737 jet to dive in and out of the airports. I'm not sure. Haven't yet worked it out massively myself. Shivendra, awesome. Good to hear. Wowzers. Leonardo, I would, yeah. Although buying a house at the moment is kind of maxing our budget out, so much so that I've just had to cancel our holiday to Tokyo, and it means that I can't really fly as much anymore either, which is a bit of a shame.
Flight level 340, Osprey 2472.
Benar 501, selamat malam.
We're gonna 501, this is November 2023 Zulu, Jakarta, control set, there is a box, so he cannot hear you, please give back. India 62, your resume airspace, the British available, please turn command to 2.8, bye-bye.
Brandon, so that's a tough one. That's a tough one. If it causes them potential problems with licensing conditions, then I'd probably imagine they have to. Again, freeware doesn't mean we can just do what we want. But then I don't really know what's been happening, so I'd need to read a little bit more into it to work out what my opinion would be. I'll stay on the fence. There we go. He's sorted his mic. That's a message.
Osprey 165, you're leaving my space as well. Monitoring command to 2.8, radar service terminated, happy flying, bye-bye.
Radar service terminated, and monitor Unicom 122.8, Osprey 165. Have a good event.
Thank you.
Jakarta Control, Benar 501, selamat malam.
122.8 onto Unicom. Just was saying the next sim update really needs to focus on performance improvements. Try and telling Asobo that. I don't think it'll be coming anytime soon, do you? Who knows? What have we got here? Just lots of nothingness. Yeah, the 600's quite niche, isn't it? I think most people are holding off for the 800. And that might be for maybe, I don't know, if I was to throw a guess number out there, I'd say for 60% of 737 owners, the 800 will be the only one they need. So then, overall, the majority have saved money, but I don't know. Chris says they've banned users on the forums that asked about the faulty textures. What faulty textures? I mean, obviously I've been away for a couple of days, so I've missed most of this. Oh yeah, World Update 10 coming this week. Not Sim Update 10 though, sadly. In fact, do we even know what countries are the focus of World Update 10 yet? Ah, grunt. Hopefully someday soon. If it's the sort of thing you want to do. Not everybody wants to travel. It's a mystery. Odd. Maybe they don't even know yet. Maybe they don't even know yet. Who knows? One thing I wish they would do is not tweak stuff so drastically that it then breaks a lot of products like the Alaska or the Orbex mesh scenery that a lot of people have purchased. It's become unusable for most since Sim Update 9, and I wish Sobo had just got to the point now in the development of the sim where they maybe took another minute or so to just step back and go, right, we'll contact Orbex and we'll say X, Y and Z is going to be changed. Here's the beta, here's the packaging, and this is what you need to do to solve it, to update your stuff. And then Orbex can update it in time for the release of the update. Ah, Christopher. Yeah, no idea about that. Doesn't sound that good though, does it? You's going for World Update 10 countries, estimating or guessing them to be India, Pakistan and Iran. I'm going to say... what haven't we had? I'm going to say Greece, or the Baltics, or something like that, or even the Balkan states. That's what I'm going to go for. Oh, there's a bing bing. 1189, Chennai control. Chennai control, good evening, Osprey 165 A320 flight level 360 inbound Dubta.
Radio Blaster, Red Cap 4903.
Ah, we transmitted at the same time.
Chennai, hello, Papa Kilo Golf, Kilo Juliet, level 360.
Chris was saying younger simmers aren't as ready to accept such heavy-handed responses, so not .to is flooded with PM2G. Cockpit mods. Chennai control, Osprey 165, inbound Dubter, flight level 360. Anthony saying I could be wrong,
good evening.
but I thought New Zealand was next.
Inbound Dubter at time 1330, flight level 360, estimating the Esla at 1408, and gate rent next.
Not sure, that would be great. New Zealand's always stunning. There is a lot of scenery that can break though if it is New Zealand. That's a worry. Who knows?
Red Cap 4903, please say again the cockpit, please.
Aiden, it sure is. Canada would be a great one.
Chennai, hello, Papa Kilo Golf, Kilo Juliet.
Hiya man, hello to you, welcome, good evening. I think I won time
Good evening, Jet Airways 585.
back by about 30 minutes.
Inbound Doctor.
So if I have to give times, I'm going to have to add 30. I think. Not sure. I'll have to work it out. Because I wanted to keep this element of twilight at least throughout the flight today. There is an aircraft directly ahead of us, slightly higher, up here somewhere, but we can't quite see it at the moment. Phew, not, I don't think so, no. Queenstown's spectacular, isn't it? Great in-scene scenery as well, that's assisting with that, making that even better. Ivan, yeah, no problem. I'll wait for him to call us and see if he's still on frequency. Quite a few of us have called in now, so we'll wait. Julie says, hoping you get a few vectors on the approach. When I fly the Fenix after 2 or 3 directions, my plane loses its mind. I suspect I'm going to be in approach mode too soon. Yeah, in fact, where was it we self-vectored ourselves and then it got really confused on the approach, and I can't remember if it was down to me mucking it up, maybe me a pilot error, or if it was an issue that was within it somewhere that triggered it. I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'd imagine being part of an event with a couple of aircraft in ahead of us and behind us, we will likely get some vectors. Nighttime vectoring, always fun, always a challenge.
Chennai Control, Osprey 722, flight level 380.
Your readability 5.
Cheers.
Yeah, stability would be nice, and then cooperation with developers a bit more perhaps to sort of remove some of these weird behaviours that we get from the sim during sim updates, or where it just wrecks a lot of add-ons, especially when you've spent a lot of money on scenery enhancements like mesh, for them to all be rendered useless for what's been 2 months now, month and a half. Orbex have only just been able to update New Zealand to make it work from the changes introduced by Asobo in sim update 9, so something really they could probably do with working on and improving. But then part of me thinks they don't really, it's probably harsh to say they don't care as much as they should, but I think maybe they do care as much as they should do. Perhaps they just execute stuff slightly incorrectly as well. GD, that's the biggest thing, isn't it? Pushback from the Fenix at EFB, it needs to be completely fixing, yeah, really, because it's almost impossible to push back nicely. I've not so far been able to do it successfully myself. There you go. I'm looking at the forum now, Christopher, for what we were talking about earlier, what you mentioned in the live chat about PMDG asking people to remove mods from flightsim.to. And obviously there's a lot more to this, so I'm not going to wade too far into the politics of what's been happening, but Robert Randazzo on the forum has replied to somebody who's basically asked the question of how does it work if you mod or tamper with files, how does it work in relation to the EULA? And Robert said, modding itself is not a terrible thing. You mod something in a manner that you think others might enjoy, we simply ask that you reach out to us and ask our permission before you go uploading it to places. Most of the time we're okay with it, but we need a chance to be sure it doesn't have unintended consequences that you may not have considered, and also need to make sure it isn't outside our compliance with our license agreement with Boeing. Which is kind of what I was saying earlier, that potentially there's issues with licensing and it could get PMDG in trouble, hence why they're having to ask people to take it down. And that's what I'm reading here from Robert Randazzo in the forum himself, so he's posting a similar thing. And I don't think that's unreasonable. He's saying here, for the most part, we try to be pretty easygoing about it, unless you ignore the ask first part, and then the lawyer who handles that stuff can be, well, I won't repeat the rest of it. But they've kind of said they don't mind mods. It's been quite open and quite blunt with it, saying the larger issue is around the fact that if you mod something and break the aeroplane, we can't be held to a standard that requires PMD to help them unmess up whatever they broke through the mod. So I don't think their stand or their stance is unreasonable. They're just asking that if you're going to mod something that changes the way their aircraft works, you ask them permission to post it, because it is their aircraft that on at the end of the day, isn't it? It's not like the default A320 where you could just mod the hell out of it because of SOBO have let you, it's carte blanche almost. I think all they're trying to do is make sure that their customers are protected from mods that are going to break their aeroplane add-on, because naturally people will then go onto the forums and complain to PMDG that the aeroplane's not working. At the end of the day, that would happen, wouldn't it? People will go onto the forums and say, my plane's not working because of X, Y, and Z. Do you have any mods installed? Oh, yeah, I have this texture mod or this other mod. And it's kind of creating a problem for PMDG that someone else has caused, completely unrelated to the company. So, yeah, so that considered, and as Robert Randazzo said in his own forum post, they need to also make sure it isn't outside of their compliance with the license agreement with Boeing. I mean, that's quite a significant thing. If they're found in breach of something like that, Boeing can come after them for huge amounts of money. So why would a company risk it? So some people being heated, I guess, towards whatever's happening with PMDG asking mods to be removed, but having read parts of the forum now to understand it a little bit more in detail, I don't think it's particularly unreasonable of them.
Chennai Center and 212 with you, maintaining flight level 380.
I don't know, that's only my opinion. ABS Gaming, awesome. Sounds great. Exactly, Brandon. Well, or in the sense of the license, it's being redistributed as something for the add-on package, so it then affect the license conditions with Boeing, and then it becomes their problem, if that makes sense.
Center and 212 with you, maintaining flight level 380.
Your readability 5.
Copy.
Well, he's showing online MPS Gaming, but none of us so far have been able to contact him. 13:28, so 2 minutes ago, saying, "Are you able to hear me?" There's issues with audio ranges because it is a huge area. So basically, they're having to relay messages. It's a vast space of land. John Loves Aviation saying, can you run charts from like Chart Finder 3 in the Fenix EFB? No, only Navigraph. And that obviously then requires a Navigraph subscription too. Well, sure. Let's see. We can use Volanta because it's quite pictorial, isn't it? There we are. We haven't really got much further from when we last showed it. When we last had a little look at the map, we were kind of where this Air India 212 is, just at this intersection of Chennai Centre, or what are we in now actually? Yeah, Chennai Control. So about 20-30 minutes later, we're just over this pure body of water now. Concorde's already almost there, so we'll be landing on Unicom probably, or with Chennai Control giving him all the details. Bomb Centre, all stations contact West Asia 1354. Stand by, I'm just sorting out some comms. 1354, I think he's solving the issue in relation to how all of this is working. What we're going to call it. West Asia Control, good evening, Osprey 165, flight level 360, inbound Dubta.
Station calling confirm Osprey 165.
Affirm Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, West Asia Control, hello, you identified flight level 360.
Hey, we've got him.
West Asia Control, hello, Papa Kilo.
What he's done is he's opened a station that's even wider than radar coverage.
Papa Kilo Golf, Kilo Juliet, West Asia Control, hello, identified flight level 360.
Papa Kilo Juliet.
Fantastic. At least you're on the way.
Red Cap 49 maintain flight level 360, walk 2506, inbound the outside.
Red Cap 493 West Asia Control, good evening, identified, flight level 360.
Starkiller's wondering as well, prediction of what to expect for Sim Update 10, or World Update 10.
Control, India 212 with you.
It's tough, isn't it? I don't actually know what it's going to be. Nobody does. New Zealand would be very, very nice. Paul, good night, buddy.
Identified, maintain flight level 380.
Maintaining flight level 380, Air India 212.
Oh look, see what the METAR is at the moment in Chennai, sorry. 180 at 15. 6,000 metres visibility. So bearing in mind as well it's night time, we've got night time plus low visibility, that's going to be quite tough. Scattered cloud at 2,000. Temperature's 32, dew point 26 degrees and QNH 1004. No significant changes due in the next 2 hours. We've got 2 hours 22 to go, so we'll probably get some slight variations in the change. Greece, I heard it was Brazil. That would be awesome. If it is Brazil, I'd be very excited for that. Fantastic country to go and explore in the sim. I would like to see Greece. I'd like to see Greece and the Greek islands as part of a world update. I think that would be quite nice.
Qatari 8905, West Asia Control, good evening, Fox 2616.
I'm from Red Cap 493.
Fly Sim Pilot, thank you. Welcome to Chennai.
493, that was not for you.
We're just crossing 2616, Red Cap 493.
Red Cap 493, negative, that was not for you.
Starkiller, that would be quite nice. It'd be huge. Huge undertaking though, wouldn't it? I'd like to see all the capital cities.
And there was a station calling which was transferred from Jakarta Control. Take in call sign. Okay. India 173 West Asia Control, good evening. Squawk 2675.
Squawk 2675, India 172.
West Asia Control, good evening. Supergreen 264, flight level 360.
Inbound, Elsa with you.
Stand by, please. India 172. That was not for you. This comfort was not for you. It was for Air India 173.
Roger, sorry about that, Air India 172.
And Air India 172, please set scope 2572 for identification.
What's great about VATSIM is the fact that you've got different communities around the world, all with different accents, different local requirements based upon the ATC services that you get, and it can make it quite tricky sometimes. Certainly adds to the level of immersion that you get from it. Oh, look at that, it's a mirror. Oh yeah, we were talking about this on in our members lounge the other week. Remember when Fenix was in development and they had a post-it note here? What happened with that? Because I thought that was going to be part of the add-on, but we don't have the post-it notes. I mean, we've got the slide-out tray table. We don't have post-it. Not that we'd probably use the post-it that much, in fairness. Look at that. The way they've done the night lighting in daytime is pretty average. The lighting at night time though, that looks insanely cool. Very, very, very nice indeed. There's reflections on the glass screens as well. Looking very good. Bring that up. Let's see.
Asia Center, this is India 121, maintaining flight level 402.
India 121 West Asia Central, good evening, identified.
Yeah, very nice. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, right?
Speedbird 20, your update for Gavin's arrival, runway 25.
Some very small details added in here. And of course we're heading into darkness as well. There's our ETP, so that is the point of which we are exactly halfway between our departure and our destination airfields. HK Flight Simulation, absolutely, yeah, very nice. By the way, welcome to Peter, new subscriber to the channel, great to have you with us. If you're in the background and you've not already done so, then please do hit subscribe down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget as well, of course, to give us a little thumbs up as well. Give the stream a like today, so we can get to 100. And he's asking, how does Volanta impact your PC whilst running MSFS? When I'm running MSFS and I open Volanta and I zoom in and out on the map, my PC starts to act like a jet engine. Well, I'm not sure actually. Not sure. I know it does take a little bit of a hit on performance, just because it's kind of running everything alongside it too.
India 173, identified flight level 360.
I mean, I guess it depends how many overlays you've got on as well. At the moment on my Volanta, I've got the flight that we're flying at the moment, and then I've got the Volanta network and the VATSIM network, plus VATSIM ATC coverage selected, along with major and active airports as well.
Direct to Avamora, Public Mike Oscar Romeo, Redcap 4993.
Oh, I've spotted Coco Lada, the MD-82. He is at Port Blair. This VACCs International Airport for departure to Chennai. Ah, yeah, Christopher, that's a shame. I missed that bit. Yeah, I think it'd be quite a quirky thing to keep. It was, it was one of those weird things, wasn't it? All of a sudden, Lava Wire did the same thing. Went, oh, we've done a post-it too. $8,000 kilos on the fuel. Let's have a little look here on our pilot brief. Here we go. So at ETP1, we should have 6.4 tons of fuel left. Okay, that looks like we're going to be well over. We're at 8 at the moment. These lights. Ooh. Gonna be that one there, right? That. Where's the emissives though? Where's the actual torch? I thought it was on part of that. Am I being stupid? And we've turned it right up. Where's it going from? It should be coming from that torch area there, right? Oh, now I can't unsee it. Danny, I think for me, I've got my sim capped at 35 frames, so my flight sim, my PC will get to my flight sim will get to 35 frames, and then from there, anything else is just available for everything else. So beyond my 35 frames per second for MSFS, I've then got a lot of flexibility in my system for Volanta, Spotify, Avagraph Charts, Fly Live Studio, FSRealistic, Chrome for the YouTube live studio manager thing, landing rate monitor, FSU IPC7, vPilot, Streamlabs as well. So all of that is part of the extra flexibility in my system beyond the 35 frames per second that I've capped my sim at. It's coming from there, but they didn't bother with that texture. Brilliant. So yeah. Oh, now I can't unsee it. Oh well, it's cool to have. It's cool to have. Like you said, no other aircraft has it at the moment, I don't think.
Zebra 20, contact Chennai approach 127.9.
Wow.
127.9.
That'd be the Concorde, he's already there. He's already on approach. Good grief. Cooper, learn to be nice. It might work on Twitch, but not here. Positivity only to each other. Danny, how do you set it specific to 35 frames per second? I know I set it to either 30, also outside of the MSFS settings. So leave that off in the sim. Like you said there, I do it via the NVIDIA control panel. I have done a video on it some time ago, so do have a little look for that within my my video sort of options on the channel. I think it was called how to limit frames per second or something like that.
West Asia Control, Osprey 2472 is with you at flight level 340.
Darkiller, don't worry, he's on a timeout.
Osprey 2472, West Asia Control, good evening, 955, flight level 340.
West Asia Control, Papa Kilo Golf, Kilo Juliet, request climb, flight level 380.
So on Navigraph, you can see now, we look across the line from our departure airport down the very bottom here, all the way across to our arrival in Chennai, which is just below our flight number. That green circle is for approach. We're pretty much bang on halfway at the moment, so you draw a line across between the two, and we're at our sort of equal time point. Exactly 50% of the way there. If we zoom out, you can see how big this airspace is, although that is because he's opened the FSS, the West Asia FSS. So it covers all the way from Afghanistan across to Bangladesh, all the way down to south of the Maldives. Huge area now covered by the one controller. Realistically, it would just be this section here that he's opened. Pretty mad though. And then we go across to Europe, and look at that for Europe by contrast. Absolutely mega. But it's nice to do something different. A lot of people fly inside Europe, including myself. It's nice to throw yourselves into something slightly different and sort of enjoy different part of the world in the sim as well, especially with VATSIM events going on as well. There's always something globally to go and enjoy. Across the ditch was the other day, wasn't it, for Australia?
Osprey 722, West Asia Control, headed in 925.
Oh, crispy, that doesn't sound too good. There must be a way to smooth that out, either maybe trying VSync on or something like that. Delta Tango's bought the Fenix this week. I still think the PMDG and the BA146 from Just Flight are out in front. Yeah, it's a balance between the Just Flight 146 and the Fenix A320 for me at the moment in second, but PMDG 737, I just absolutely love it. I think it's such a fantastic, immersive add-on. And there's a lot to learn. Like the 146, there's a lot to learn. This beauty of this is it's nice and familiar. Brandon, hello. How has the real world flight training been going? Really enjoyed the circuit video you put out a while ago. Sadly, I've not flown for 6 weeks. We're in the process of trying to move house. We're buying a new one that's maxed our budget out so much that I can't fly as much, sadly. We're selling quite a bit of stuff, and we've had to cancel our trip to Tokyo, which is a bit unfortunate. Hopefully I'll get to fly again soon. Certainly do need to get back in the, behind the controls. So I'll probably fly in the next couple of weeks. But I've got to get through so many exams as well that I kind of just need to get my head in the books and just learn all these different topics. Navigation, some of the craziness with how the flight computer whiz wheel thing works. It just blows my mind. It's just too difficult to understand some of it. Starkiller, am I excited for X-Plane 12? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't have X-Plane 11, so I guess it would be nice to try X-Plane 12 and compare the two. But I've got a lot of time, energy and money invested in MSFS, and I think now it's coming to a point where it's starting to mature quite nicely. It's at a nice level, especially with these add-ons that are coming out available now. So for me, I don't see the need to change. So even if X-Plane 12 comes out, I'll probably not bother with it, if I'm being honest. Tapsy, hello buddy. We're out in the main Osprey jet today. The A320 flagship. Can't quite see it though in the darkness. Tapsy, if you're maybe new to the channel, tuning in, wondering who Tapsy is, he's one of our fleet painters and he's created this Osprey livery for the Fenix A320, which is really cool. And we've got a custom interior in it as well. This is the first time flying the Fenix A320 at night in an event, in a VATSIM event. Quite interesting. Doing a bit of a double whammy for a new thing. Ian's running in the One World Osprey Airways livery. Fantastic. There we are, and we go to the flight, into the cabin, sorry. And you can see we've got the custom cabin, custom lighting as well, if you are just tuning in, having a little look at our new livery for the Fenix A320. The nice brighter white strip lighting in the overhead panels. And we've also got cabin, custom cabin textures too, with the painted custom bulkhead as well. And the galley textures with the trolleys. Look at that. Quite cool, isn't it? And then if we open the flight deck door, and they've got that darker orangey hue, that looks pretty cool. Nice Shepherd, cheers buddy. Thankfully we've heard no FSRealistic toilet flush yet. Bingo. So, flashlight. Oops, what's happened here? Just reset this. Can't see any. We've got a mirror so we can check our bald patches and our hair. There's the torch. Though we can't actually put it out. The torch is there. And we're saying we should have a movable on-off light by the by our left knee. So we've got this one, which is overlooking the EFB. But I've not found anything else. Hold on. There was one here on the Fenix. There we go. Oh yeah. Now if we turn these floodlights off. Oh, look at that. Even better. I don't know actually. What do you reckon? Those lighting, the strip LEDs underneath the dash, the glare shield, or do you reckon the panel lights are better with that sort of more yellowy hue? Tough one. Yeah, we're still. These are the things with these payware aircraft add-ons, whether it be the PMDG or the Fenix. You still investigate, you still find things weeks and weeks later that you haven't yet discovered. G-Blues, I'll never waste my money on X-Plane 12 when Microsoft Flight Simulator is giving all of these sim updates for free. X-Plane 12 is the equivalent of 3 MSFS sim updates. Yeah, exactly. There's no reason for me to change. I think this will still by far be ahead, much ahead of X-Plane 12. Danny, I think you're right. I think I'd agree with you. Those more yellowy hue lights here instead I think looked a bit better, didn't they? But what it does mean is we can see our food on the tray better. Doc, wondering what the schedule is for next week. So I'm going into night shift, and ordinarily I would of course live stream before that night shift, but I've actually got a 3-hour mortgage appointment with the bank, so before my night shift I won't actually be able to do any live streaming. In that case, I think we're going to be looking Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or just Saturday, Sunday. I'm not entirely sure yet. There's a lot going on at the moment. I'm trying to sort of wade through it all at the same time. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, Friday I finish at 7 in the morning, so I might not stream Friday, but I'd likely then look to stream at least Saturday and Sunday instead. And then I'm back to work for the rest of the next week. Streams again the next weekend after, 25th, 26th. But it all depends on overtime. We've been warned that we could get a lot of cancelled days off coming up soon at very, very late notice. So I won't know until I go back to work tomorrow whether or not I'm going to be able to do live streams on the weekend or not. I don't know. It's too early to say yet. Truck my duck until you do a holding pattern on some airports, then you want to explain 12. Well, you know what? It's if you've got the right aircraft and you put the right data in, it works out okay. The 737, for example, flies holds very nicely if you assist it to enter quite properly and intercept it properly, and it has the right data. It will fly the hold wonderfully, as we saw when we live streamed into Innsbruck a little while ago. We flew the hold at what's it called? Rattenberg NDB. Flew the hold there for about four circuits, I think. And it worked really, really, really well indeed. We've descended through it. Same with this. I think this would be pretty good. Though I've not tried yet a hold in the Fenix A320. I don't think. Centurio, good morning. How are you? How's this for a kick in the teeth as well? When we do move, we're going to be charged. Turns out we can't take Vodafone broadband with us. We are contracted to use BT for 2 years apparently, so I'm going to get hit with a £500 bill to leave Vodafone, which is just insane. Torturous.
Control Danish 1 Papa Tango inbound, looking at flight level 250, climbing.
Yeah, I guess for myself, I've got the Navigraph nav data installed, so it's constantly updated and fresh and tweaked by Navigraph. So I guess maybe that's a nice helping hand, I suppose. All the aeroplanes. Well, that was ours then. Oh, we got 2520. So we're actually comfortably over our fuel burn. So we're flying more efficiently. Danny, also fun to do, doing a step climb later on at the Dubter waypoint from flight level 36 to 38. Works like a charm, and did it yesterday as well. Really cool. Again, something I've not tried yet. Perhaps that's something I could have done today. Could have built it into the flight plan as well, so the controllers could have seen it X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do a step climb up. I've seen as well that the Fenix can do offsets. Here, not tried it. Tried it in the PMDG 737. Worked very, very nicely. Until I tried to overcomplicate the return from the offset, and then I crashed to desktop. So I haven't tried it in this yet, but it can offset it as well. Starkily, yeah, flying a PA-28 in real life. Studying towards my PPL, but yeah, financially it's just got silly money. It's almost £250 an hour for flight training at the moment. Nick, yeah, it is. It is, yes. Oh, that's a good question. It's my tablet in flight mode. It is now.
022, identified, Santa 0380.
BKM Surfboard says you also have the overhead lights that you can turn off next to the squawk code input. You mean these good lights? Yeah. So that's the brightest. Setting that big spotlight on to bright there. I mean, we've got the interior lights on dim at the moment, but obviously if we turn them off completely, it's here, we go into really big darkness. Reading light, turn that on. Yeah, 250 quid an hour almost. It's just that plus trying to move house. It's just it's a difficult time. So much so we've had to cancel Tokyo, as I was saying earlier, which is very upsetting almost. It's we were really looking forward to that. Poseidon, what does flight mode do? I guess it simulates turning off the data of the tablet. So we've got the little plane there, like on your phone. Automator, good morning. Mark, exactly. Not our fault. They don't supply the service. Can't terminate a house sale just because Vodafone don't plug in the broadband there. It's crazy, isn't it? We are, no, £500 please though, thank you. Brandon, a little late, but to the person earlier trying to change the star in the Fenix while on the arrival, I used the secondary flight plan to change the route and it works like a charm. That's pretty cool. Star Killer. No worries at all. Is it more the noise that affects you, Star Killer, or is it something else in relation to real flying? Benjamin's asking what the difference is between ILS, RNAV and VOR approaches. So VOR is like a radio beacon that will send a signal out to the aeroplane to tell you how far away it is. So it's more of a non-precision. VOR approach is kind of like an ILS approach, but without the precision, if that makes sense. To summarise it as best as I can, it's without the precision, but it's similar to an ILS, and it's less accurate. And it won't necessarily take you to the touchdown zone of the airport's runway either. So you've got to be careful of that too, as we saw flying into Thessaloniki the other day on the VOR Yankee approach 3-4. Those of you who saw that, it was an offset VOR approach with the course. An RNAV approach is basically like an ILS, but it's based off of GPS instead of radio beacons and frequencies and signals. And the ILS is good old, fires a couple of beams of signal to the aeroplane and bounces back, and it's lateral and vertical guidance, so that's how you get your glide slope too. But ILS and RNAV, precision approaches, VOR aren't in the simplest way possible. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, rolling monthly contracts, not a bad way to go, is it, these days?
Flight level 360 and direct VDAS, so any Danish competence.
Yeah, Danny, exactly. And when you then also factor in, once you've got your license, you've got to fly once a month to keep it valid. Every 2 years, you've then got to do your single engine piston rating refreshers. Just to hire the aircraft now is over £200 an hour. Well, it's almost £200 an hour just to hire the aeroplane once you've got your license. So yeah, it's cheaper because you're not paying for the instructor, but it is very expensive just to maintain. To get your license now in the UK, you're pushing nearer to £13,000–14,000, whereas about 6 months ago it was nearer to £10,000 still. So it's a huge difference, for money. So it's a real shame because what it does is it stops people actually flying. Takika, we'd like a walk in the cabin. Here you go, exploring our custom cabin. We'll go down to the bottom and back. You can hear those sounds change as well as we walk down the cabin. Mark, same with Sky. People that subscribe to Sky Cinema, it's the same movies every day, every week, recycled. It's like 30 quid a month, crazy money. Stick to FreeSat and Freeview, easier. Damien, I haven't noticed it myself, no, but I think it depends on the perspective of the zoom. I have noticed sometimes things look a bit distorted. Weird, got right down to the back here and my ears popped with that sound difference. Takika, yeah, indeed, very nice cabin light. In fact, if I'm right in thinking, Takika, were you the person behind the big cabin lighting improvement mod for the Fenix A320? Is that, am I getting that wrong, or is that yourself that created that with all those stunning lights, different colours, different intensities? Is that yourself? Lane Gamer, hello, howdy. Back into TEF flight deck. Oh dear. Duty bound by YouTube to report that comment that I've just removed.
India 196, Pressure Control, good evening, identify the climb flight 0370. India 196.
And exactly, and that's where I've kind of had to draw that difficult line, because I'm having to use all the money that I've saved up to do it into buying a house, because that's ultimately more important than what is effectively PPL is flying for a hobby. It's an expensive hobby. But this happened years ago when I was growing up. It was £125 an hour, and my family at the time ran out of money. So I was going through the training. I had to stop because I ran out of money, and it was ebbing away at me for years from that point when I'd had to stop. I was desperate to fly again. So I was super happy that I've been able to fly. And I'm learning and progressing through the training, and then yeah, potentially I'm just gonna have to cut everything off, or at least fly less. I'm gonna see what I can manage. I'll see if I can balance both, perhaps. Who knows? Even at least if I can just get my PPL. If at that point I can't afford to maintain it for a little while, so be it. I'll then wait for a few more months, save up to then do refreshers with instructors. And things, and go from there. I don't know. I've not yet worked out how I'm going to manage it all yet. I deal with things as and when it comes. I cross that road. I cross the bridge when I come to it. That's some of the things that people do, Mark. They'll go for an extended holiday for 3 months in the States, and they'll do it for about $5 less, including hotel and transport and food and everything else. It's just it's crazy. Lone game, and that's it. And you never drop that desire. That's the thing. Centuria is saying my total cost to go from 0 time to CFI with $250 an hour was with about 70 grand. Holy moly! With about 250 hours, sorry, was 70 grand. Jesus. Mark, exactly. It does kind of destroy me a little bit inside. I love it. Absolutely love flying. Which is, I guess, where the overtime at work is going to come in as well, because I'm going to try and balance things even more finely, I think. Grant's I fly 5231 inbound from the west. Mark, that's it. Throw yourself off the Chilterns or something. Climb Ben Nevis with it and jump off the end and glide all the way down. If you can make it up Ben Nevis, that is.
Yeah, correction. Cloud 8, Italy 022, track direct, stay good.
Director tail, Cloud 8, Italy 2.
LSAB. 7110 on fuel. LSAR, and we want 6.1. So we are currently 1 tonne of fuel above what we're estimated to burn. So it means we're going to land heavier. It also gives us extra fuel for holds and everything else that we might anticipate when we get closer to our destination of Chennai. And then we're showing ETOPS exit inbound Gurner. Gurner is in 250 nautical miles.
Hi, flight part 231, message control, good evening, identified. Flying flight 0370, track direct, Epcot.
And then Chennai, not too far to go. Matthew, good morning, hope you're okay. He's done it, he's gone all the way. He's a real pilot. Going on to the Twin R big jets. It was about 60k-ish when I did it a decade ago. Nowadays I'm seeing the Zero to Hero programs more like 90 to 100k. Crazy, isn't it? And if I did that in the UK, I'm looking more 150k. Or in dollars, that'd be about 170,000 US dollars. Zero to Hero programs here. Christopher, that's always something that's been a bit of an interest for myself. But the aptitude test for NATs in the UK, you've got to go to Swanwick, I think it is. You do the aptitude tests, then it's in your contract to leave your current job. You've got to quit your current job, and you've got to stay on a residential 6-month course with NATs. You can fail at any stage. So again, it's too much of a huge gamble for me. Yeah, Lone Gamer, that's pretty fantastic, isn't it? And I'm just getting to that stage now, so I might at least try and get through nav. What's a Mama block? Oh, that's pretty cool. A week's gliding holiday at Nimsfield. So around that time then that you guys were flying in the early 2000s, I would have been flying from Coventry. My very first bits of PPL experience there. Ah, Badger, then absolutely in your instance, yeah, huge, oh, Danny, marble block. Amazing. Brandon, that as well. There's a lot of obstacles, isn't there, for getting people that would genuinely love to be in the industry and would probably make very good pilots. There's a lot of blocks preventing them from doing so. It's where the industry's kind of gone wrong, I think, perhaps. Back in those days, years and years ago, early 2000s, end of the 90s, in fact, was when you could get some sort of integrated sponsorships with the likes of Britannia Airways, and they would pay for all your training based on a bonded contract and work for them for X amount of time. It was 5 years, I think it was, or 10 years. That's reasonable. That's what they should bring back, but they won't. Because those airlines, they don't have the liquidation, like the sort of, they don't have the finances, the liquidity anymore. Matthew makes a very good point. That 1,500 hour rule would get a lot of people out of flying like you stole it, or making some mad decisions some days and learning from it quite valuably so, before they then go on to the big jets with people in the back. Yeah, High Wycombe, Booker. That's where I might have to move to for my flying training. I might have to move from Denham. Although Booker's a bit more, or Wycombe Air Park's a bit more expensive, sadly. But it, yeah, will be closer, otherwise I'll have to go quite far.
Good evening, identified flight 0380.
Starkiller, yes. Yeah, well, I've reported some of the stuff anyway to the YouTube safety team, so don't worry. He's gone. Probably for a ban from YouTube as well, I'd like to think.
And 173, when ready, descend flight level 250.
Good old Kaitac landing experience in Cranebank. Fantastic. Cranebank, of course, long gone now. Can't. It's just a shell of a building. Derelict.
Station calling second. And it's 677, the station control.
Yes, it's Centuria, that's quite cool.
Identified flight level 360.
White Waltham's cheap for PPL, Ryan says. That's not too far from me either, actually, I don't think. White Waltham. In fact, no, yeah, that's
And 172, Roger.
not too far, but where I'm going to be moving to, it's going to be too far, if that makes sense.
5321, correction, 5231, track direct in.
I think if I changed to Wycombe Air Park, it would probably make life a little simpler as well, because Denham's very complex. It's underneath the Heathrow control zone, so there's a lot of additional rules, regulations. There's a lot of extra stuff you've got to manage through the critical stages of flight. But then it makes it quite interesting and can be quite stressful as well. It is a very, very, very good place to learn. If you infringe, Heathrow get on the phone straight away. Bum says, what's your favourite approach in MSFS? I'm going to say maybe Samos, the circling approach into Samos is really difficult. That, or maybe something scenic like not sure. Yeah, I'm going to say one of the Greek islands, something like Samos, Skiathos, Mykonos, one of those. I think they're always quite fun, aren't they? They're quite difficult at times. Yeah, that's pretty cool at Booker. Ian, absolutely, yes. We're going to have the garage as a gym, and one of the bedrooms will be a flight sim room / streaming room. Gonna be good fun. Stressful times ahead though with the house move, of course. Justin, hello. Thank you very much for being ground controller. Absolutely fine. It was a bit of a toss-up between this and the Madrid overload event that was running about the same sort of time, but we do a lot of Europe. I thought it'd be quite nice to do a bit of...
stand by this frequency for 2 minutes. There's a controller change in progress.
Yeah, very nice to do something different. Certainly from a bit more of a night flight as well in an event. We do a lot of Europe, like I was saying, a lot of Madrid and that sort of thing. So I'd like to just mix things up, make things a bit challenging as well. Somewhere we just don't know where we're flying, what the procedures are. Yeah, Danny, the Santos Dumont approach into Rio de Janeiro, sort of city airport, that's incredible. If you get the circling approach or the RNAV approach, it takes you in sweeping past Sugarloaf Mountain. We need to do that live at some point soon as well. That's always really spectacular. Right, there's the gap, Avmore. Ryan, we are Osprey 165. Jason, the ETA should be at the top of your screen, I think. Avmore, and then it should be after Avmore, speed limit point. We should be then going into the Gavid RNAV arrivals, but I'm not sure which is going to be the best. What's the weather doing? .180 at 13. In fact, there's got to be... Hey, Gav! Thank you very much for your super chat, buddy. Let's have a look at Volanta. Very generous of you, Gav. Really appreciate all the ongoing support. So here we've got VOMM approach on. If we actually find Chennai and we click the airport icon, online ATC, we can read the ATIS now. So information Foxtrot, time 1400, and it's showing expect ILS approach, landing and departure runway 25. There we go. With a crosswind of almost 13 knots as well. That's going to be interesting. Visibility 6 kilometers. So low vis, clouds scattered 2,000 feet, towering cumulus 2,500. So we can expect, depending on what stage they're at, we can expect some significant updrafts, downdrafts with cumulus. Potential icing conditions, 500 feet, temperatures plus 31 degrees Celsius, dew point plus 27 degrees Celsius. Not completely saturated for the air. UNH 1004. Just going to make a little note of these. What have we got here? So, I mean, it would change anyway, but it's runway 25. Which is what we were planning for anyway. Surface wind 180 at 13. TCU for some chowering cumulus. Transition is flight level 55. NOTAM, runway 12 and 30 closed. So that's an easy way to get the ATIS well in advance of you actually arriving at the airfield, because otherwise you can't find it. Or in the Fenix, you can click D-ATIS. Right, no worries, buddy. Have a good one. Okay. Well, maybe you can't click ATIS. That's fine. Maybe the ATIS hasn't. It's just being regenerated at the moment. So, in here, what we can do is go flight plan, arrival, ILS 25, and it was the Gavid RNAV arrivals. What's that? That's going to be 5. Or 0525 for routing. This one's going to be 1230, so it's going to be that arrival here on the charts. Let me bring Navigraph up so you can see what I'm doing too. So Gavid RNAV arrivals, there's two options. One of them's for the closed runway, the other one's for the one that's active at the moment. So we're going to choose this one, showing via Avmore into Gavid above flight level 90, max speed at 250. Then Mike 512 at 210 knots below, at or above 4,000 feet. And then we're expecting ILS runway 25, so it will be straight in approach then from there, I guess. So then on the MCDU,
Osprey 722.
select Gavid. Transition via Avmore. Insert. Done. Gurner, Avmore, Gavid. Speed limit point MM512. And then we go here onto the ILS 25. And it's basically just a straight in approach. What we can expect. We'll come out of night mode for now, I guess. If it's a bit easier to see. Where are we going to be coming in from? Gavid, MM512, and then straight in on final approach then. That makes sense. So at 12 DME ICHN, we're literally just going to be flying straight in at that point.
580, control, how to read me?
Missed approach, climb straight ahead to 2,300, climbing turn right to join the VOR holding at 3,000 as directed. And it is a VOR hold.
580, confirm we are released from Jakarta control.
There, right at the centre of the airfield, that Chennai MMV VOR frequency of 1125. Bit harder to see on the night charts. If we go to the day charts, it stands out like a sore thumb. See the missed approach hold there, it's charted. And there's our minimums, ILS 360. RVR full lights, 1,000 metres, so it's in limits as well. And then the blue is our missed approach, and there's the Mike Victor VOR hold. And interestingly, the ILS frequency is not in at the moment. We'll see when we get a bit closer, we'll make sure that that frequency is in. It should automatically go in as we get nearer. And in a little while, once we actually start to see the ATIS a bit nearer, we'll be able to tune this in as well accordingly. What we can do is change flight level 55.
Flight level 380, Osprey 722, and may I step away for 5 minutes, please?
And we can put the ILS minimums in of 360. Like so. It's airport elevation 54. .1,000 above ground level for the missed approach. That'll do for now. See what we get a bit closer. Gurner's coming up in 120 nautical miles. Badger says this is his first time flying in India in the sim. Fantastic. Hopefully you're enjoying it. You're calling Osprey 165, readability 3.
Osprey 165, control, identified, major flight level 360.
See, what we're getting now is static from the radio because we're just right at the limits of their radar service, I guess.
India 172, go ahead.
Matthew says, yep, even though I've got the 767 gig lined up, I do have an interview lined up with a major with bases in the most expensive bases in the States, and I'm leaning towards maybe taking that if they offer it. Very exciting. It's got a couple of things coming up potentially. Yourself, Matthew. Awesome.
Flight level 360, India 172. 1/5 temperature control.
Now that's interesting. Don't know if you heard that. It sounded like FSRealistic was refreshing its sounds. That's rather odd. Windshield wind. So that's the Fenix, yeah. It refreshed the sounds. That's the Fenix's own sounds. And then with FSRealistic switched on. Probably is a bit more realistic to have that on, actually. It's great you've got some options, Matthew, lined up. Get out of the regional life. Very exciting. For the bigger major, are you going to be potentially working on board more modern, more advanced aircraft? 777s, that sort of thing, or is it similar era of aeroplane? Could even potentially almost be an A330 pilot. Press button, push the seat back, chill. We've had to do nothing so far, it's great. Well, there's a lot of 767s that fly in from US carriers from the States into Heathrow frequently. United tend to fly in some pretty battered 767s that are just, the paint is just so wrecked on them. (767-400ERs). Zoom out. Where are we now? There we are. So we've got a couple of aeroplanes ahead of us. And then you can see that merry little trail of people in the event as well behind. And this is why we wanted to do the smaller event as well. I say smaller event, but it was the event that was less likely to be really, really busy, because it's a nice event to do and sort of support as well. There's our progress bar on the Fenix EFB as well, about 75, 80%, I'd say 80% of the way there now. So time to go. It's obviously froze because it still reckons there's 2 hours 16 to go. So let me refresh Fly Life Studio again. (33 minutes). Crikey. Okay, but yeah, that doesn't make too much sense. That does make...
165 is control. How do you read me now?
Readability 5.
Osprey 722 West control. How do you read me?
5x5, Osprey 722.
There's our little map today on the Fenix. Varys, hello, saying what options in FSRealistic you recommend to be turned off, and am I using it currently in the flight? I am using it in flight at the moment, yes. I've actually turned a lot of stuff off or down. I don't think it applies that well to the airliners that well, to be honest. I think it's more of an add-on that's very good if you are into general aviation flying. I think there's a lot more to it for that purpose. But things like touchdown animations, the head shake thing, it's just way over the top. Way over the top. even for a touchdown of 200-300 foot per minute, 1.1 G, which is quite mild. It almost looked like I'd broke my spine and folded in half the other day, so I've turned that right down to 7 instead. Wind ambience is quite nice, I've left that as it is. There's some sounds like sneezing. Why do you want that? I've turned it off. I've turned a lot of it off actually, to be honest. Or I've turned a lot of it down. Lavatory flush noise, we turn that right down too. Matt, hello, welcome. I'm still not convinced it's necessary, especially when you're flying payware aircraft as good as the PMDG 737 or the Just Flight 146 or the Fenix A320. I don't think you need FSRealistic for them.
How do you read me now?
5.5
We are, Doc, yeah, almost 40 knot tailwind. If you want to grab any of our liveries, head to our website, britishafgeek.com. Yeah, Centurio, I guess for some people it's almost like a must-have.
2435 is dispatch control. Identified final maiden flight level.
Yeah, I don't know, I tried to use FSRealistic Core back in the day when that first was released. I kind of fell out of sort of enjoyment of using it. Found it a bit too rough around the edges and then just stopped using it. FSRealistic Pro, it is more improved. I'm still not convinced that it's that great for airliners. But some people really like it, so each to their own. It depends what you want for your own sim experience, I guess. Everything, like I say quite often, is very subjective, isn't it? Whether it be scenery or an aircraft add-on, whatever it might be, it's very subjective to each individual's own desires for their own sim experience. It's quite important. So then in that instance, it's really good we've got all these different products that give us the option.
Red Cap 62 with dispatch control.
Red Cap 62, confirm you are calling Red Cap 62.
Red Cap 62 with dispatch control. Contact Chennai Centon 118.9.
Roger, contact Chennai Center 118.9, Red Cap 62.
Red Cap 62, if you are unable to contact Chennai Center, please roll back to with dispatch control.
Roger.
Now we're picking up everything. 12745. Oh, Matt, awesome. Welcome.
Landing and departure runway 25. Surface wind 180 degrees, 13 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers. Clouds cover 2,000 feet. Towering cumulus 2,500 feet. Temperature plus 31. Dew point plus 27. QNH 1004. Transition altitude 4,000 feet. Transition level flight level 55. Notices to airmen. Runway 1230 closed. Advise on initial contact.
About Kilo Juliet, cleared garbage.
Information Foxtrot.
Brilliant. So it sounds like such a complex structure for regionals and all these other airlines in the States. But I guess it's not too dissimilar then in that instance to the likes of TUI, the way they operate in the UK, TUI Airlines or with Thompson as it was back in the day.
165 at Fisher Control.
Flash message, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, no contact Chennai Centown 118.9.
Contact Chennai Centre 118.9 for Osprey 165, thanks.
Osprey 165, if you are unable to contact Chennai, please fall back to Fisher Control.
Wilco. Chennai Control, good evening, Osprey 165, flight level 360, inbound Gurner.
Confirm station calling Osprey 165.
Hey firm, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, Chennai Control, good evening, radar contact identified, flight level 380.
Hey, we're with them. Next is going to be Chennai Approach 1279.
Papa Kilo Juliet, Chennai.
Papa Kilo Juliet, go.
Papa Kilo Juliet, when ready, this is flight level 250.
When ready, descend level 250, Papa Kilo Juliet.
1279, followed by 1181 for Tower.
Runway 25.
Gabi down arrival, runway 25.
Not far to go now.
493, thank you.
Osprey 165, track direct Outmore.
Correct to have more, Osprey 165.
Red Cap 62, Chennai.
So let's just review the charts here to see how far we've got from Avmore to Gavid. That's 71.1 nautical miles on the entry to the star from the Gavid sort of entry points, and then we've got 24, maybe 30. Got about 30 nautical miles then to the approach from that point. So at Avmore we'll have 100 nautical miles to go, 100 track miles to go to the actual approach. Just for a bit of point of reference for you guys if you are wondering. As a guesstimation, over 100 likes folks, thank you very much. Glad to see so many enjoying it.
Red Cap 493, recap descent.
Red Cap 493, descent flight level 250.
Descent flight level 250, Red Cap 493.
So, information Golf now on the ATIS. Let's have a little listen to the ATIS and we'll record the data.
Plus 31. 2.27.
Going to recycle and start the message again.
Chennai Control, Red Cap 62.
We're listening to both VHF, we're listening to Com 1 and Com 2 at the moment.
Level 55.
Gavid arrival, runway 25.
Runway 1230 closed.
Roger, Gavid arrival, runway 25. Red Cap 62.
You have information call. This is Chennai International Airport. They have information call. At time 1430. Dispatch ILS approach. Landing departure runway 25.
25.
Surface wind 180 degrees.
Direct Gabi to Red Cap 493.
Kilometers. Cloud cover 2,000
Papa
feet.
Kilo Juliet, maintain
Tower
high speed approach, number 1.
2,500 feet. Temperature plus 31.
Plus 3-1.
Papa Kilo Juliet, maintain high speed approach, number 1 to land Chennai.
004.
Roger, maintain high speed, number 1, Papa Kilo Juliet, thank you.
Transition level
UNH
5,
1004.
55. Notice to airmen. Runway 1230 closed.
Cool. Shaquille Oatmeal, welcome. Thomas, hello to you. Hope you're okay. Not far to go now, folks. Right, there's the weather data, I guess, put into the box. That mag wind is being automatically updated by the aeroplane. Let's give that a little refresh. What we'll end up doing is just putting in that data. If it stays like that, we'll put in the actual correct data instead, nearer the time. We'll be doing a full flap landing onto ILS 25. There we go, and now we've got a bit closer. The aircraft's put in the ILS frequency, so we need to check that against what we've got in the charts anyway. So we've got ICHN, that's correct, 109.7, that's correct, and the course is actually F251. So we need to amend that. -3. Let's see if it allows me to put this in. You know what? We'll leave it. We'll leave it like that. It could be the scenery that's fed it in. The ILS course on the chart says 251. Can't you see the ATIS on the EFB? Earlier we couldn't when we clicked it. I've clicked it again now and it won't load up. Usually you click it and it will, as you know, it will flick across between the ATIS and the METAR. We can see the TAF, and we can see the terminal aerodrome forecast. Can't get the ATIS. Not to worry. Avmore to Gavid above flight level 90. So that top descent mark is probably correct. What have we got here? Flight level 316, Gavid flight level 121. MM5 12 at 5331. And then it'll have us on the ILS. What do we need to intercept the ILS at though? 1800. Holy moly. Is that achievable? There's 1.8. That'll be 5.5 miles. You know what? We'll trust it. We'll trust the aeroplane. Thomas, we were discussing it earlier. To be honest, from what I've been reading so far, throughout today, I can see why people are frustrated in the cockpit texture thing where they're requesting people to take it down, but earlier on I read out a forum post from Robert Randazzo at PMPG in their own forums that I thought was actually quite a fair post. They're trying to make sure they stay within their license conditions of Boeing, whilst also balancing customer experience, because otherwise they're just going to get people on the forums saying my 737's broken because of X, Y and Z, as we were saying. So yeah, I don't think they're being unreasonable.
Cat 62 approaching the top of the stand.
Cat 62, Roger descent flight level 250.
Roger descent flight level 250, Cat 62.
Cat 493, descent flight level 190.
Shaquille, hope you're okay. And Blue, hello to you, welcome. How are you?
Osprey 165, you are cleared Gavid arrival, runway 25.
Cleared Gavid arrival, runway 25, Osprey 165. We'll request descent in a second. Someone was asking about it, but that's how I've always had it set up. So when I move around the cabin, it's the up, down, left, right keyboard arrows, and then I press and hold my right mouse click and I can look around the cabin quite nice and dynamically. Night Shepherd, love it. Hoping to catch the landing. Well, we are approximately, if it helps, 20 minutes from landing. Probably more like 25 minutes from acceleration and things.
Cat 493, descent flight level 126.
Descent flight level 120, Cat 493.
And Red Knight 1543, taking your request.
I think that's a known bug.
Right at 543. Cleared to Bangalore.
Best way to learn. Smash out some circuits or non-standard departures and approaches.
0641.
Half a glass left should be fine. Blue, yeah, very true. Yeah, you are very true. I used to crab in like this, didn't I? And where we go.
Right night.
Yeah, I found a way to do it with pressing and holding my right mouse cursor. I can translate up and down, but I can now use my yoke to move around. It's certainly a lot easier, isn't it? I was just about to request descent.
58435, Namaskar.
Lone game, it's translate view up, down, left and right.
350.
Osprey 165, request descent.
Osprey 165, descent flight level 300.
Descent flight level 300, Osprey 165.
Red Cap 4903, recast the lower.
Down we go.
493, you are cleared to flight level 120.
Flight level 120, Red Cap 4903, thank you.
Papa Kilo Juliet, contact Chennai approach 127.9, good day.
127 liner, thank you, Papa Kilo Juliet.
You're welcome.
Chennai Control, Osprey 722, flight level 380.
Osprey 722, Chennai Control, good evening, radar contact identified, flight level 380. Cleared, carpet arrival, runway 25.
Flight level 380, cleared carpet arrival, runway 25, Osprey 722.
Matt's still got an hour to top of descent. You've picked a long route for sure. Free look lone gamers for my right mouse click was free look, translate for, was it free look? Yeah, just free look I think. It's for this. But the left and right, this bit is I'm sure was translate cockpit view left, right, up, down. I'm sure of it. Like you say, there's a lot of different options. It can be a bit odd and confusing at times. Keep those likes coming, guys. See if we can hit 150 likes before we get to Chennai. Got reports of towering cumulus few 2,500 feet and scattered cloud 2,000 feet. So it's very likely they could be embedded. So the towering cumulus could be hiding within other cloud as well.
Red Cap 630, descent flight level 1.
Although usually it would warn you on the METAR potentially, depending where you're flying. You get embedded cumulus.
Red Cap 493, contact Chennai approach 127.9, good day.
127.9, Red Cap 4903, thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
.104 for QNH, wasn't it? Let's come out of standby instrument. Let's set that now. This is FSRealistic now. Engine vibrations. Ridiculous. Why is it shaking my cockpit like this? Weird. Hey ho. I digress. Osprey 165, request further descent.
Osprey 165, sorry for that. Descent flight level 190.
Descent flight level 190, Osprey 165. Go to manage mode, we'll stick in VNAV that way. Lone game, but that'd be great. Like a robot that could go and navigate through your kitchen to get you what you need.
Osprey 165, Chennai.
Last message.
Osprey 165, report estimated time at Persian Lobby.
Stand by, I will find out. You're requesting an estimated time at Gavid. 14:43, but it's not really 14:43. Let's go to real time now. 15:05.
Danish 1 Papa Tango. Chennai Control, good evening, radar contact identified flight level 370.
Chennai Control, Air India 172 is a flight level 360.
Air India 172, Chennai Control, good evening, radar contact identified flight level 360.
Chennai Control, Osprey 165, inbound Gavid, estimated time 05.
Time 1505, copied. Osprey 165, thank you.
Back into descent mode now, and we can set our QNH very quickly because it does interfere with the VNAV.
212, confirm you were transferred from West Asia to me.
Copy.
Nice Shepherd, yeah.
And the 212, I asked a question. Were you released by West Asia Control?
Affirm Air India 212.
And the 212, Roger, stand by for wide.
Roger, Air India 212.
Seatbelt signs are on. And what we can do...
165, descent flight level 140.
Descent flight level 140, Osprey 165.
Red Cap 62, contact Chennai approach 127.9, good day.
7.9 is next for us, that's what we've got pre-tuned ready. And
Osprey 1, correction Osprey 722, track data garbage.
landing performance.
Track direct garbage, Osprey 722.
Bomb.
And Osprey 722, when ready,
25.
flight level 190.
When ready, descent flight level
There's the meta.
190, Osprey 722.
Landing weight.
Approach, good evening, Red Cap 62, descend to flight level 130.
It's adding a ton, isn't it? So
Red Cap
pilot
62,
brief.
you're still in my frequency, contact approach.
5.1 estimated. Where's our predicted landing weights? 63.8.
Chennai approach, good evening, Red Cap 62.
No auto brake.
Red Cap 62, you are still in Chennai control frequency, contact approach on 127.9.
That'll do. Go for dry. Go for good, actually.
Chennai approach, Red Cap 62, ready check.
Red Cap 62, you are still on Chennai control frequency.
So runway 25 is
118.9.
wow,
You should
4,000 meters long, and actually we want to vacate at Mike, which is right down the bottom, 2/3. So if we go idle reverse, no auto brake,
Sorry, Red check.
or low auto brake,
Contact with Canon approach.
could even go flap 3.
Red Cap 62, contact Chennai approach 127.9.
We'll go full flap.
We are.
That'll do.
Say hello.
2,189 meters.
No
Low auto brake, full flap, idle reverse. If I can flick it quickly into idle reverse, that is. See what we can pull off. Pin the airport charts, and we need
Red Cap 62, approach says that you did not contact him. Please try again one more time on 127.9.
Roger, 127.9, let's try again. Red Cap 62.
Osprey 165, contact Chennai approach 127.9. Good evening.
Chennai approach, Red Cap 62, ready check.
Contact Chennai approach 127.9 for Osprey 165. Thanks to the ATC. Good night.
Good night.
Chennai approach, good evening, Osprey 165, descending flight level 180 for 140 information Golf.
Bravo with direction 165, Chennai approach color with contact. Expect radar vectors for ILS, ILS 25. Turn right, heading 320 degrees.
Expect radar vectors, ILS runway 25 and turn right 320 degrees, Osprey 165. Just going to open descent mode now because we've come off our flight path, therefore the VNAV doesn't necessarily work. There's some lights over there from an aeroplane and we can see the land up ahead as well. There is Indian land ahoy, if you like. So we're now being vectored. Spacing. It was low auto brake, not envisaging needing to use much ground spoiler, so we'll arm it now anyway. Interestingly, we can see some rudder trim down there. There we go, it's reset itself. Keep an eye on that. What else do we need? Might as well leave that up. It's going to give us a nice little indication of what we can expect. John, I know. Oof. Our next frequency will be tower 118.1.
Papa Kilo Juliet, establish localizer.
Papa Kilo Juliet, contact tower frequency 118.1.
Tower 1181, Papa Kilo Juliet, good day.
Like so. So our next frequency is ready. Leveling off at 140. We'll just let the controller do his magic. And in fact, while I remember now, we want to dim the cabin lights. So into the options.
Osprey 165, descent flight level 0.
Send flight level 80, Osprey 165.
Westcap 4903, descent now to 2,500 feet.
Sim settings. The fly the plane, then deal with the lights and things instead.
3,500 feet clear, ILS 25 report established to Westcap 493.
Here are
Westcap 4903, negative descent to 2,500 feet.
our lights.
2,500
When the gear's
feet,
down, we will get the
493.
red lights on the emergency exits instead. Walk back through the cabin towards the flight deck door. Go into the flight deck. And if we have a little quick look around, back on ourselves, it's just all darkness behind.
Osprey 165, descent flight level 70.
Descent flight level 70, Osprey 165. So what it looks like here is we're being vectored for spacing to be sequenced in front of or behind this guy here. The TCAS is following the flight path that we almost had on the lights here. Yeah, it is just pitch black, isn't it? It'd be nice to have a landing mode for it, so that we'd actually be able to see how dark it would be. And then yeah, CI25. So we're going to be vectored out and then in.
Reduce speed now to 230 knots.
Is it reduced speed 230 knots, Osprey 165? What we can do, we put the no smoking signs on and emergency exit lights on. Let's see what happens in the back. There we go. It is proper dark. They will come on when the gear's down, which is quite a nice little feature that they've added in here. (737), hello. This is the Fenix Airbus A320. Cooper, have you seen the Godfather the music was in Flight Sim 9 trailer? No. John, he has indeed. Hey, happy days. So we've been told to reduce speed. You can see, hopefully you can see it there, just some flashing lights ever so slightly in the distance. It's kind of going through that cloud at the moment, which is hiding him now. There's some flashing lights just there, roughly where the cursor was. It's gone, who knows. And the airfield is over there somewhere. Not that we can see it at the moment. Direction. Over there somewhere, through that cloud.
Redcap 4993, contact Chennai tower frequency 118.1.
Mark, that's pretty awesome.
Chennai approach, Redcap 62, can you read me now?
Redcap 62, I can finally read you. Descent now to 2,500 feet, clear ILS approach runway 25, report established.
Roger, descend 2,500 feet and clear ILS runway 25. Report established.
Should be getting a left turn in a second.
Osprey 165, turn left heading 250 degrees, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1001, correction 1004.
F250 degrees, descend 5,000 feet and QNH 1004, Osprey 165.
Osprey 165, negative, descend to 4,000 feet.
Correction, descend 4,000 feet, Osprey 165. There's the aircraft in front there, you can see his lights flashing. Out of the box asking, can you log in the information before getting in the Fenix A320 like the flight plan, or do you have to log it in manually? Starkiller, yeah, it's fine as long as he's polite.
Expect vectors for ILS 25, descend 070 Osprey 722.
So what I'm going to do now, how many miles have we got? About 20-ish miles. I'm actually now going to select approach phase.
Bravo Victor X-ray 165, reduce speed now to 190 knots.
Reduce speed 190 knots, Osprey 165. Okay, well, green dot's certainly helpful then, because we are going through approach mode and we're now being told to go through our green dot. So speed's good, we'll go flaps 1, and that's going to bring us to our S speed there as well, which is pretty cool.
Redcap 62, enable contact Chennai tower frequency 118.1. Have a safe landing, bye-bye.
Oh, what I did forget.
Roger, contact tower 118.1. Thank you for your service. Bye-bye, Redcap 62.
There we go. Through some relative pitch black darkness. Grab another screenshot. Not much to see out here. The dazzle of the wing lights. As we approach land. Chennai inbound, folks. Look at that. Very cool. Livery looks beautiful as well. Okay, let's get our approach charts up ready. We can see what we're going to do if we do declare a missed approach. What is that going to be? 10 and a 5.
Osprey 165, turn right heading 270 degrees, descent to 2,500 feet. Cleared ILS approach runway 25, report established.
Then right, heading 270 degrees and descend 2,500 feet. Cleared at ILS runway 25, report established. Osprey 165. Still a little far out, I think. The glide slope and lateral guidance. Ian, awesome. That's pretty cool. So Gavid. I'm going to put a quick one in here. Mike Victor.
722, turn right heading 3.
There we go, now we're picking her up.
Turn right.
A bit more in range.
300 degrees, Osprey 722.
Flaps 2, VFE 200 knots. We're 10 below actually, so we could be a bit cheeky here. We could go flaps 2, but we won't bother. Still 20 miles out. Yeah, definitely 2,500. The glide slope begins at 5.5 DME properly at 1,800 on the charts, so 2.5 certainly makes sense. Here we go. So what we're waiting for now, we can see flashing lights over there, an aeroplane inbound ahead of us. We can't see anybody else that's going to necessarily conflict with us at this stage, and we're certainly not getting anything else on TCAS. We're waiting for this lateral guidance line for the ILS localizer to sort of start to move. What we can do is arm approach mode. Oh, there we go, look at that, just as we did anyway. It's began to move. So the aeroplane will maintain 270, though it's now managed as well. There we go. And when it's happy, it will begin to establish on the ILS runway 25. We're still too far out and too high at the moment to get our vertical guidance. So as I mentioned, it's just started to come in now. Osprey 165 established 15 miles.
Osprey 165, roger. When able, contact tower frequency 118.1. Bye bye, have a safe landing.
Contact tower 118.1 Osprey 165. Thanks for the ATC, good night.
Good night. Airport,
1181 and 1219 is ground. Tune that ready. Information Hotel, apparently. Chennai Tower, good evening, Osprey 165, inbound 13 miles ILS 25.
Osprey 165, very warm, good evening to you. Winds 180 at 13 knots, runway 25, continue approach.
Runway 25, continue approach, good evening, Osprey 165. I'm going to go back to manage speed because I will forget, and we will set 3. Blue, good to hear. Very nose up, aren't we? Let's get flaps 2 in.
Red Cat 62, runway vacated via Mike.
Red Cat 62, very warm welcome to Chennai, sir. Hope you had a lovely flight. Contact ground now on Chennai.
Try and maintain 160 till 4, I think.
Ground on frequency 12.9.
8 miles, 2.5.
Roger, thank you for service to one. Contact ground 121.
Actually, 8 miles. It's probably a good time to go gear down as well. Wrong button. There we go. These for some views. We can put these on Volanta. That's why it's nice to do these different events somewhere other than the place where we would always fly around in the sim, because so we look at this scenery, it's absolutely spectacular, right? Go flap 3. Awesome. All these green and blue lights and everything else as well below. Low cloud coming up. And there's our landing memos now, so everything except for flaps. There's the runway. And there is quite a significant crosswind. So we've got the charts ready for missed approach. Should we become unstable? Minimums were 360. So we can let the aeroplane fly to that if we want to. Not sure what the colourful lights are to be. I don't know if it's part of the Freeware scenery at Chennai or something else. Let's go to final approach speed now, and we'll go set full flap. And that will be ECAM memos no blue. The lights and signs are all set as required, and we're briefed for a missed approach. .20 knot crosswind, 1,000 feet.
1,000.
Still not cleared to land. Great smog effects. Osprey 165, short final.
Osprey 165, apologies for late landing clearance. Aircraft was on high speed exit. Wind 180 at 13 knots, cleared to land runway 25.
Cleared land 25, Osprey 165. Autopilot off, my plane. Landing inhibit modes on as well. We're flying 14 knot crosswind and approaching minimums. Land mode's active. And hands on the throttles.
Minimum.
Continue.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Oh, it's a rough one. It caught me. Got me on a bounce. Oh well, we're reverse screen. Actually, I've got asymmetrical reverse here. I've got a right reverser failure, a left reverser failure. Didn't think it was that harsh.
Retard.
That's not very nice. Alright, we'll decel for M. Let's come off the brakes. 60 knots. That didn't seem that harsh a landing. But like you said, Night Shepherd.
Retard. Retard.
The hell?
Retard. 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 Retard.
We come across another bug.
Retard. Retard. Retard.
Osprey 165 vacated it, Mike.
Retard. Retard. Retard.
Osprey 165, very warm welcome to Chennai, sir. Hope you had a great flight from Indonesia. Contact Chennai ground on frequency 1.9.
Can't hear him.
Retard. Retard.
Contact ground 121.9 Osprey 165, thanks to the ATC.
Retard. Retard. Retard.
Shut up.
Retard. 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 Retard.
Let's try and get reverse.
Retard.
Green.
Retard. 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 Retard.
Jesus, holy moly.
Retard. 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 Retard.
We've landed now, aeroplane. I thought Airbus were meant to be smart.
Retard. 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 Retard.
Jesus Christ.
Retard.
Got ground. Good evening, Osprey 165. Vacated at Mike. Taxi to stands, please. Through the ridiculous announcement.
165, welcome to Chennai. Taxi via Mike, Bravo Golf Hotel, stand 33.
Retard. 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 Retard.
Taxi, is it stand 33 via Mike, Bravo Golf and Hotel, Osprey 165.
Retard. Retard. Retard.
Outside view and back. Legend. Why is that even a bug? we are then. Welcome to Chennai. Some nice freeware here. I have to just find out on the charts where 33 is. Wow. It's not waited here on the stands for you guys. So I haven't actually parked or anything like that, but we are hopefully back and you can hear me / see me. Question is, how long is it going to hold out for? And also, where is stand 33? That's 32, thanks to the stand markings, and 33 is there on the box. So yeah, I waited for a little while to get it started. Very bizarre. Why is it doing this? It's become a regular thing now, hasn't it? The other day too. And we turn left onto stand. I heard VATSIM go off and I thought, oh boy, here we go again. And then I noticed my Wi-Fi and everything had stopped. A320. Map, pretty much, yeah. There we go. Car brake on. Super weird. Right, APU's looking good. Got wing lights off. Here's the aeroplane. Not quite on the centre line. Know what my OCD is going to kick in. Just see if I can sort this out. That'll do. Hey, here's the Freeware terminal. It's pretty cool, right? So this is free to download on flightsim.to. Look at that. Freeware. Good, right? And you can just about, maybe that's a bit ambitious, so you can just about see us, but you can't really. There we go. So, engine 2, engine 1 can come off, we can get the beacon off, and then in here we can zoom into here. Arrived. Would you like to commence deboarding? Yes. So what it should do is trigger jetty. Yes, it has. Lovely. And GPU and chocks. So now we can, I do like this as a feature, we can transfer to external power, and then we can turn the APU off and pop the seatbelt sign off. And actually, you know what we forgot, because we forgot to do that? We need to put the cabin lights back on. Otherwise those precious little people in the back are going to worry that they're going to trip over in the darkness. There we go. And then we can literally walk off the plane. How many people have we got on finals yet? Have we, do we know how many we've got? We can try and spot a couple of touchdowns. Bum, I think it's very nice. A couple of instances, a bit weird, if you land too soft, then the aeroplane will literally just crash off the runway or veer off, like we had into, is it Heraklion a while ago? Very bizarre. That's frustrating. There's the bing bong for the phone. You can hear those clackers of the engines. Right. Here's one on final. Let's see if we can get to him in time. Yeah, we done it. sure if that's wind that it can hear, or if it's FSRealistic doing weird things. It's an Osprey, I think. Certainly interesting with the crosswind, 18 or so knots, makes it very fun. That's the Air India. That looked very nice. He's down, much smoother than myself. Lone Gamer, is that every aircraft? Or is it just certain aeroplanes? Because I've only had the veering issue if I land really soft in the Fenix. Very nice background with the high skylines indeed. Be nice to get like a like a Mumbai city pack or something else. Matthew, it is a great sound, isn't it? Very realistic from Fenix to add that in. Where'd them lights go? There he is. He's in cloud. Did it go around? No, he's still on final. It's a little further out. Nav lights just glimmering through that cloud there as he's coming through on final. Blue, hey, how did you get other planes' audio? On mine, they're virtually silent. On VATSIM. Gav says VATSIM disconnected on final. You're back though, right? Is that you coming in? No, that's Coca-Cola.
Chennai ground, Air India 172, vacated runway 25.
Air India 172, Chennai ground, very good evening.
Oh, Gav's already down actually.
2 via Mike Bravo Golf Hotel.
Taxi to standard 32 via Mike Bravo Golf Hotel, Air India 172.
Gav's at the gate. So Coca-Cola is flying the MD-82. He's flying the Mad Dog, I think, from memory. Don't know what it's going to appear as in this instance, but it actually looks like we've got a Mad Dog with the AIG models. I think we do. First time seeing this in the sim, I think. Or is it a CRJ or something? Look at this. Oh, it looks like a Mad Dog. Big cumbersome wings. That's an MD-82, isn't it? And it's literally matched his livery as well, Airfast Indonesia. Coca-Cola, the Mad Dog. How cool is that? Landing lights on the wingtips equal Mad Dog. Yeah, very true. Got another one on final now. Very true, because there's a lot of photogrammetry. Ah, so that wind noise was FSRealistic. I've just terminated the program. Interesting. John, Danish Air Transport, right? Yeah, it's shown as Danish Air Transport. Knows the DTR. Well, I guess at least we got an MD-83 shown. That's pretty cool. What else have we got then on final? Air India 172, 196. I think that's all of us, isn't it, actually? I can see an Osprey 70 miles out, a little bit far. Oh, that's loud. I guess him frantically trying to load everything back in now. There we go. So it's the Bay of Bengal Hopper event on the VATSIM network, thanks to... Oh, let's toggle that. Boom. There it is, toggle jetway. And you ready? Reset itself now, hasn't it? So that's the one thing that's a bit weird. Johnny, welcome! Joining as a bronze frequent flyer. Great to have you on board. There we go. So Fenix A320 from Whiskey India Mike Airport, which I'll try and pronounce it, because otherwise you guys won't know necessarily where it is. Let's find it. Kualanamau International, Whiskey India Mike, all the way to Chennai, part of the VATSIM's Bay of Bengal Hopper event. Bit of a firm landing, 400 foot per minute. Did cock it up a little bit, but I guess better than crashing. Crashing. Thought it was that far off. Thanks everyone for flying along. Welcome to Johnny joining us as a brand new bronze frequent flyer, and thanks to Gav as well for your super chat a little earlier on as well, supporting the stream, supporting the channel too. And of course, thank you to all of you guys for watching, and our air traffic controllers throughout the journey today. If you haven't yet done so, please do hit subscribe down below. Head to our Discord server and check out britishaviate.com for all of our liveries and a load of other resources, whether it be VATSIM related PDFs, livery links, or some of our Fenix A320 and PMDG 737 checklists. Make sure you press the like button before you head off, and I hope to see you probably at the end of next week for some more live streams. In the meantime, as always, have a great week ahead. Thank you very much for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of today. Take care. I'll see you soon.
No, it's that time.